Hey my warriors, hi Kola, Panaguti, Mokshagana, Salva Hariharan, Padma, hello Smile, welcome aboard. This is Captain Shreyas here and I'm going live. Welcome aboard to JEE Enlite, the dedicated English medium channel for all the JEE aspirants as well as the NEET aspirants. And this is the most awaited session by all the students. Some of you might be new to the channel. Well, we conduct most expected, very high weightage as well as mock tests, including the Sureshot series. And if you have been regular on the channel, you would remember and you would also know that so many questions from these series have actually come indirectly or directly. Maybe the values have changed, maybe the diagram was same and something else was asked, or maybe the concept was similar, and stuff like that. So you would see very similar questions in so many of the papers. And that's what we have brought back. Our team has researched and seen which is the biggest, which is the highest weighted chapters, also which kind of questions are very likely to come, and based on the analysis, so that will save your time. So do not forget to attend all these mock tests with me. So let's begin with the Sureshot. 50 questions, guys. 50 questions. It's going to be a big session. I am guessing at least 1.5 to 2 hours easily. So I don't know how it goes. And do not forget to keep up the energy throughout the session, because I am going to need a lot of your energy. Without your energy, without your answers, without your love and your support, this session cannot proceed. And if you're watching this recorded, do not forget to leave a comment after the session is over and also like the session. My name is Shreyas. I'm the physics master teacher. I've been teaching for more than 10 years now, and I gave my JEE back then where I scored full marks almost in physics JEE entrance. And now here I am with you producing all the awesome ranks year after year, and this year too we are going to nail it. So if you want to know more about me, you can follow me on my Instagram handle Captain_Shreyas. So I hope you guys have smashed the like button already, and if you're not yet subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. So hello everyone. Hello Naveen, Panaguti, Pavni, Lasya, Enlight's product. Hello January's. I can see so many new names out here. Hi Chemtrix. Nice to see so many of you out here. Keep up the chat box alive. Yes, live and alive, both are different things. And also I want you to make sure that you keep a rough sheet with you with a pen, so that whenever you see a question, you try to solve it. You might get it wrong, you might get it correct. It is perfectly okay. Nobody is going to sit and judge you. If you're watching it recorded, make sure you pause wherever you feel like. You can give it a try and you can see the solution later on. But definitely check out the entire video. There's a lot of amazing questions for all of you. I'm very good. Hi Aisha. Mergu Fahad, I'm very good. When did JEE 2023 class 12 PCM? It has already started, Jawaharlal. My batch has already started on the platform, and on the platform on YouTube, you will also see the Pathfinder series of the last year. I'll be doing one shot and revision kind of things on YouTube in the days or weeks to come. But my batch has already started for the 12th standard. Okay, so let's begin the class. Hi Naveen. Ready guys to rock it? Ready to rock it? Yes. Hello Devil. Hi Shaunak. So Lasya, watch my class, watch my tricks, watch my strategy. I have already made a strategy of Sureshot topics. If you do the Sureshot topics, you will not just get 40, you will get 60, 70 marks easily. Okay, so let's begin guys with the first question coming up on your screen, and here it comes. The ideal double slit experiment, when a glass plate of some refractive index and some thickness is placed, then you see that the intensity of the position where the central maxima is previously remains unchanged. What is the minimum thickness of the glass plate? Let's try and solve the question. You can also do it simultaneously in your rough sheet. If you get the answer or if you think you know it, make sure you put it up in the chat box so that I know you guys are there and you guys are able to understand or maybe able to solve it very quickly. So in a Young's double slit experiment, if you have a normal setup where this is your slit 1, this is your slit 2, usually your central maxima is here. Now if you place a glass slab over here, there will be a shift over here. There will be a shift in the pattern, and if the previous maxima, wherever it occurred, still you get a maxima, that only means one thing. It only means one thing. The maxima over here has shifted here. In fact, the maxima over here has shifted here. That means this particular glass slab has shifted the fringes. The slab has shifted the fringes such that the shift itself is one fringe width, and the path difference created by the slab, the path difference created by the slab is equivalent to the path difference created for one fringe. The path difference created for one fringe. What is the path difference created for one fringe? Come on, guys. What is the path difference created for one fringe? The path difference created for one fringe is one wavelength. For two fringes, it is twice wavelength. And path difference created by a slab is nothing but the thickness into mu minus 1. Hence, the thickness will be lambda by mu minus 1. Mu value is given to be 1.5. So 1.5 minus 1, which is 0.5. So which is nothing but twice of lambda. And that is option C, is it? No. It is option A. Many of you said C, but no, the correct answer is actually A. Thank you so much, Jawar. And I'm pretty sure you are going to cover up your 2023 portions from YouTube plus my batch which has started. All the best, bacha. Looking forward to see you in the classes and around. Hello, Arnav. Hi, Anisha. Good morning, Naveen. Good morning. Thank you, Larshan, so much. Option A it is. So the key idea was the shift was such that the maxima over here became the maxima here. So the shift is one fringe width, and one fringe width corresponds to one wavelength. Hence, that's the answer. All right. So let's move on to the next question coming up on your screen. But before that, remember, make sure you join the Telegram group so that you get updates, notifications of the classes, or else you'll miss classes, you will regret it. And you'll get the handwritten solutions, including this PDF, in the Telegram group. The link is there in the description box below. Moving on, next question. When a certain metallic surface is irradiated with monochromatic light of wavelength lambda, the stopping potential is 3V0. Okay, so it's a question on photoelectric effect. If the light wavelength is changed to 2 lambda, stopping potential is something else. The threshold wavelength of the surface is asked. Let's try to figure this question out. Everybody ready? Come on. Hello, Raj Nandini. Welcome aboard. So let's try this question. First case, when the wavelength is lambda, the stopping potential is 3V0. Use our photoelectric equation. So photoelectric equation says the wavelength of the light, if it is lambda, hc by lambda is the energy of the photon. Energy of the photon is the work function, which is also given as hc by lambda naught. Lambda naught is the threshold wavelength plus E times the stopping potential. Now the stopping potential is given to be 3 times of V0. 3 times of V0. Fair enough. This is the first set of equation. Now for the second part, when the same surface of is irradiated with 2 lambda, stopping potential is V0. So now the new wavelength is 2 lambda. So energy of the photon is hc by 2 lambda. Work function won't change, so it will be hc by lambda naught only. And here the stopping potential is now E times of V0. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try and solve these equations simultaneously, but very carefully, because I want to find lambda naught. I'm not just going to subtract them. In fact, I want to get rid of this V0, because in the options V0 is not there. So how about multiplying by 3 and 3 over here, and then subtracting them, then subtract them. So you will get 3 by 2 minus 1 times of hc by lambda will be equal to, this will be 3 minus 1 times hc by lambda naught will be plus 0, because 3eV0 minus E3V0 will be 0. So this just becomes 0. Now 3 by 2 minus 1 will be nothing but half. So this will be half hc by lambda, and this will be nothing but 2 times hc by lambda naught. Now just rearrange the equation, hc gets cancelled, so you will be just left with 1 by 2 lambda is equal to 2 by lambda naught. So lambda naught will be 2 into 2, which is 4 times of lambda. 4 times of lambda is option A again. Very good. Option A. Very good, Anisha. Excellent. So the catch was to first of all understand that there are two scenarios, and then in both the scenarios the work function is the same, and work function is h into c into threshold wavelength. Now to find wavelength, I have to eliminate this stopping potential. So I multiplied both the sides with 3 and I subtracted them. So when I subtract them, I get the answer very easily. Okay, I hope this is clear. Very good, Deepthi. Excellent. Moving on to the next question. There is a beam of light of wavelength 400 nanometer. Power is 1.55 milliwatt. It is directed on a cathode of a photoelectric cell. That means photoelectric effect is happening. 10% of the photons only produce photoelectrons. What is the current due to these? This is also a very standard kind of a question. Let's try and solve this. First of all, let's try and understand what is the relationship between the power and the wavelength. See, when I say the power of light is P, this is the power of light, it is nothing but the number of photons which are falling per unit time, into the energy of each photon. So each photon will have some energy, into the number of photons will give me total energy. Total energy per unit time is nothing but the power. Okay, great. So do I know the wavelength? Yes. So can I find the energy of the photon? Yes. Do I know the power? Yes. So I think I can find n by t. So I can find n by t by this. So n by t will be nothing but the power of the light upon the energy of the photon. That is what it is. Great. I will just write the energy of the photon as hc by lambda. I'll just keep it as it is. I'll not change anything. Now only 10% of the photons produce photoelectrons. So out of this only 10% of it produce electrons. So the actual effective number of electrons which will be ejected per unit time. So number of electrons which will be ejected per unit time will be 1/10 of this whole thing. Will be 1/10, because only 10% means 1/10. So it will be power of that light divided by hc by lambda. So this is the number of electrons. That are going to be ejected out. Now once I know the number of electrons ejected out, I can find the current. Remember, current is nothing but charge which flows per unit time, and charge is nothing but the number of electrons which flows into electron charge divided by the time. Now this value I know it from here, so I can just write it as look at this, 1/10 of power of that light divided by hc by lambda as it is into the value E. So everything is known now, just have to substitute. Many of you are saying option A, some of you are saying option C, some of you also said B. Okay, so let's see which one of you are actually correct. So try and solve this, guys. So this will be 1/10 power of the light. Power of the light is 1.55 milli, that means 10 to the power minus 3. Electron, so I'll just put E as it is, because I know the value of hc in standard electron volt conversion unit, this value becomes 1240 if lambda is in nanometers, and this comes out to be an electron volt. Do you remember that? 1240 is a special value. So if you remember that value, then it becomes very easy, I guess. So just put over here 1240, and lambda is nothing but 400 nanometers. Now it's just a matter of solving this. Just cancel few of the variables. 0 cancels, this 0 and this 0 also cancels. this 4 also cancels with 124. This will just become 30 and 1. Okay, but there is also electron volt over here, so do not forget that E. So this will just become E. This E and this E also cancels because that E from HSC is also there over here. That E and this E will also cancel. So I have approximately 1.55 by 31. How about this? This is roughly as good as saying 1.55 divided by 3.1 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3 also over here. So I think this is roughly going to be 0.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 over here. Just check this out. Okay, oh, wait a minute. Did I miss some 3.1? No. I had to multiply by 10 at the bottom. My bad. I had to multiply by 10 at the bottom. Okay, so this will become 10 to the power minus 4. Yes. So now I think this is correct. So this will be nothing but 50 into 10 to the power minus 6, which is amperes. So 50 into 10 to the power minus 6 amperes. Just check this out. Do I have something? Yes, option B it is. Option B, correcto. Option B. So what you need to realize is that this value of HC is very important because it helps you solve the problem in an easy manner. There are calculations, but you can make some approximations. You can make certain approximations, and that helps you solve the problem in a much easier manner. Is that clear, guys? Can we move ahead? Cool? Fair enough. Let's move on. On a heavy atom, electrons are fired with kinetic energy E. If the binding energy of the electrons in the atoms corresponding to K, L, M shells are this electron volt respectively, the minimum value to produce L alpha from the X-ray is. Let's try to do this question. First of all, let me visualize the KLM shells. So this is your K shell, this is your L shell, this is your M shell, and there will be N and so on and so forth. K value's binding energy is given to be 40.2 kilo electron volt. For L, right, for L it is given to be 21.8 kilo electron volt, and this is 11.5. N is not given. I don't think it is needed. Now the question is for L alpha ray. For L alpha, what is the meaning of L alpha? See guys, the nomenclature in X-ray spectrum goes like this. If an electron jumps from L to K shell, this is called as K alpha. If an electron jumps from this to this, it is the next wavelength, it is called as K beta. Next will be called as K gamma. K gamma. So when they say L alpha, that means you are jumping onto L shell. So this is basically your L alpha. L beta will be the next one. So if an electron has to jump from here to here, if it has to jump from here to here, that means at this point there must be a vacancy which is basically going to be filled. If there is a vacancy which is going to be filled, only then this electron will jump. That means you need to chuck out, you need to throw this electron out so that a higher electron energy will jump to the lower orbit. So hence the correct answer should be option B, which is 21.8. You need to throw away this electron. There is a vacancy created. Hence the higher energy electron will jump to the lower orbit. I hope this is clear. Understood? Very good, Anisha. Awesome, guys. So beautiful question on just understanding, just looking at the energy level diagram and knowing what the nomenclature is for X-ray spectrum. Nothing else is there in this. Okay, moving on to the next question on modern physics. Uma, no problem, you can watch the replay of the missed part. We are just on maybe fourth or third question, I guess. Hi Puneet, nice to see you back. Okay, let's see what's the next question on modern physics. The counting rate, that means the activity. So the moment you see counting rate, it just means the activity of that radioactive sample is N naught at t is equal to 0. That means that's the initial activity. Now at 40 seconds it becomes N naught by 16. At 40 seconds it becomes N naught by 16. So what is the counting rate that you will see at 5t seconds? Very easy to solve. Let me show you how to get this. So activity at any time is initial activity into e to the power minus lambda into t. This is your standard equation which you are going to use. Substitute. Initial activity is n naught. So initial activity is n naught. Lambda I do not know. Time is 4t. When the time is 4t, that time the activity comes out to be n naught by 16 per second. N naught cancels. So 1 by 16. So 1 by 16 will be, bring this power down, e to the power, or I can write it as lambda t, the whole raised to 4. This becomes easier to analyze because now if you take it on the top, it will become e raised to lambda t whole raised to 4. Now 16 is nothing but 2 raised to 4. So hence I can say e raised to lambda t is nothing but 2. I just got the value of e raised to lambda t. Now I will use this value for the next part, because for the next part the new counting will be how much is what is asked after 5t seconds. So the new rate of activity, which I do not know, is going to be n naught is going to be as it is. Then you have e raised to minus lambda. Instead of time you will have 5t. Okay, let's try to figure this out. This will be n naught. Here I can write this as 1 by e to the power lambda t, negative power I brought it down, and the whole thing raised to 5. Now this value e raised to lambda t is nothing but 2, so this will be n naught by 2 raised to 5, which is nothing but n naught by obviously 32. Hence option C is correct. Option C, very good Puneet, excellent Darshini. I can see the Kenmyo and so many others have got the correct answer. No, it is not n naught by 128. Okay, so this was a question based on your exponents, your activity formula, and solving two scenarios by finding one of the unknown and substituting it in the other scenario. Lambda was not given, t is also not known, it's just a variable. Just make this e raised to lambda t as a variable and substitute it over here. So that's the magic which you have done using maths. Next question. Bobby, don't concentrate on your second PUC results. I know it can be bad, it can be good, you might get stressed. That means nothing. Your board marks have no relation with your JEE and NEET scores. JEE is an independent, conceptual based, application based exam, not based on memory. So you have time to realize your mistakes and maybe you can work on it and you can get really good marks. Don't cry. Let's work hard together. So the plates of a parallel plate capacitor are charged. A 2 mm thick plate is inserted between the plates. To maintain the same voltage, the distance between the capacitor plates is increased. The dielectric constant of the plate is how much? Okay, so guys, here is the concept over here. To maintain the same potential difference between the plates of the capacitor, you are seeing that you are increasing the distance by 1.6 mm. So in this question, the voltage has to be kept constant and you are charging it and leaving it. So that means the charge also has to be kept constant. That means the capacitance also has to be kept constant. The capacitance before and the capacitance afterwards has to be the same. Only then the voltage will be maintained. Earlier, this capacitor was charged to V volts. It was charged to V volts when there was nothing inside, 100 volts, whatever. Now you are putting some dielectric material inside. That means capacitance will change. To compensate that effect, you have changed the distance between the plates by delta x. That's when the voltage remains the same. This value and this value will remain the same. Otherwise, it won't remain the same. So how do you do this question? Well, let's start with the basics. Usually, the capacitance formula is epsilon naught area by the distance between the plates. I'll just write it as D. Now, in the second scenario, in this scenario, when you add some dielectric material and change the distance, what's the new formula? Well, the formula goes like this. It is epsilon naught A by, first check the air gap. The air gap is the distance between the plates minus the thickness of the dielectric slab. the distance between the plates is d plus delta x, I have increased it by delta x, minus the thickness of the plates, which is t. This is the air gap basically, and the slab part, which is having a thickness of t, divided by k. This is the part where the slab exists, divided by k. This is how I remember the formula. How do I remember the formula? I'll repeat. Normal formula is epsilon naught A by D, correct? So same thing in the numerator, only in the denominator, the distance between the plates has to be written down differently. First write down the air gap. This is nothing but your air gap, this part. That air gap will be total distance minus thickness. Total distance is d plus delta x. Delta x is the increase, minus t. Plus this part, do not write it as t, you have to write it as t by the dielectric constant. Is that clear? Yes, Janvika, there is a crash course which is running right now. It is exactly a 3-week crash course. Link is there in the description box below. Khushi saying option C, I don't know, we'll figure it out. Numerator cancels. In the denominator, you can see what happens. 1 by d is equal to, I think certain values might be given to you over here. So this is d plus delta x minus t plus t by k. I can remove that 1 by something. I can get rid of that 1 by something. I can just write this is equal to this. Okay, because denominators have to be equal. So this d and this d cancels. So let's see, 0 is equal to, the change in the distance is how much? The distance has been increased by 1.6 millimeters minus thickness of the plate. The thickness of the plate is 2 millimeters. So minus 2 plus 2 divided by k, of course. So therefore, bring it on the other side. So basically 2 by k is nothing but 2 minus 1.6, which is nothing but 0.4. So k is nothing but 2 divided by 0.4, which is nothing but 5 units. Hence the dielectric constant is 5. So again, you should know the formula for a capacitance when you place a dielectric material partially inside. When it is completely filled, I know what happens. It just increases k times. But when it is partially filled, then it is, this distance becomes the air gap. So I'll write it over here. I'll write it over here, probably on the next slide. So capacitance when partially filled, it is epsilon naught A by air gap distance plus the slab distance by the dielectric constant. This is the formula. Is that clear, guys? Understood? Very good. Yeah, there will be at least one question, Kola. Definitely there will be one question. Let's move on to the next question coming up on your screen. There is a conducting ring of certain radius r placed in a uniform inward field, magnetic field as shown. The ring is moving with this velocity. The induced EMF across arc PQ is how much? Okay. Now, the induced EMF across that arc. First of all, the induced EMF formula goes like this. It is actually L vector dot V cross B, and whenever you have a curved arc, then you can replace that curve with a straight line. That is one important thing which you should know. So that arc PQ which is there, this arc, you can forget it and you can just replace it with one straight line. Whatever EMF will be induced in that straight line, the same EMF will be induced in the arc. That is one important property of induced EMF, especially in motional EMF, which you should know. Now, I do not know the length, but I can do one thing. I can see that the velocity is this way and magnetic field is inside. So, whenever length is not perpendicular to the velocity, always take the perpendicular component of the length. So, if this is your length, remember, always take the perpendicular component of the length to the velocity. Don't worry about the parallel component of the velocity. So actually speaking, this EMF becomes L perpendicular into V into B. This is the simplified, modified, easy formula to solve problems where length and velocity make an angle. Okay, actually it becomes cos and that sine and all of that, so it automatically comes out to be perpendicular. Now what you need to do is understand what is this perpendicular length. Well, that I can find it out using geometry. So this is an arc. So how about completing that circle like this? So this is nothing but your center, and this is obviously 45 degrees. So if I want this, I can do one thing. This whole thing is the radius. The radius of the ring is given to be r, and only this much part, that is only from here to here, will be, see this, if this is also radius, this is r cos 45. This is r cos 45, which is r by root 2. Hence, from this, I get the value of L perpendicular should be this length minus this length. That means it should be r minus r by root 2, which is nothing but r common 1 by root 2 has to be subtracted from 1. So just put it over here. So it will be r bracket 1 minus 1 by root 2 into V into B. That is your EMF. Done, done, done. Option B it is. So this problem looks scary at the start, but actually it is easy once you start solving and realize there are two things in it. First, L dot V cross B is the formula for EMF. Simplified version is L perpendicular VB. And second property, an arc or any shape can be converted into a straight line when you want to find the EMF across the ends. So once you make it a straight line, take only the perpendicular part and neglect the parallel part. That gives you the answer. These kind of questions are very common. In JEE also they have asked semicircle, they have asked quarter circle, and so on and so forth. Okay, J. Kevin, the Akrosh batch, yep, is going to be announced tomorrow, and definitely will let you know about it, all the details. Obviously, all your favorite teachers, all the best teachers are going to be teaching in the Akrosh batch. There is going to be an English version, there is going to be a Hindi version, there will be a NEET batch, there will also be a JEE batch, which will be starting soon. All the details will be announced shortly. Hold on for that. Yep, if you have planned to take a drop, this batch is exactly meant for you. Let's start with the next question coming up on your screen. We have a current which is flowing through the inductor, and like you can see, the inductance L has a shape as indicated in the figure. The highest value of the current is I0. What will be the maximum voltage drop across the inductor? Current graph is given. Voltage which is dropped across the inductor is asked. Is there a relationship between voltage and inductor? Yes, there is. If you notice that there is a formula which says the EMF across an inductor magnitude wise, I'm not interested in the direction, is nothing but the inductance into di by dt, rate of change of current. Now, if you want maximum voltage drop, that means you want to make this maximum, so you want the voltage drop to be maximum, then obviously this should be as large as possible. L can't be changed. Now, di by dt means the slope. It's the slope of current versus the time graph. Observe carefully and you only tell me this. Observe carefully and tell me this. Is this part, and this part, and this part, don't they have the same magnitude of the slope? Let me know. I hope this is seen. Yeah, don't we take direction of the induced EMF? No need, Kola, because only the magnitude is asked. That's all. Yes, Tharak, you can definitely crack the second session exam in 1 month. You follow the Sureshot topics. I have made a video on this channel. Just check it out. Also follow the strategy which I have given. Just search. It's there in the playlist also. If you're not able to find, leave a comment. I will help you out. Yeah. So the slope is same everywhere. So doesn't matter which slope you take. So let's say, for example, you take this part. What is the slope? The height is I0 and the base is, oh, these are 4 t's, one after the other. So each part will be t by 4. So basically this is having a base of length t by 4. Hence this will be L into height is nothing but I0, base is nothing but t by 4. Hence it will be 4L I0 by t. That's the answer. The slopes had the same magnitude. Yes, one was positive, one was negative. One was positive, one was negative. I was not interested in the sign. I was just interested in the magnitude of the slope. So you take any one of the slope, so you get the answer. That's it. Slope is always height by base. That's all. Cool? Great. Option D it is. You will not die, Lasya. You will get everything. You just have to pay attention. See how I'm solving, number 1. Number 2, see which topics I'm doing. Number 3, watch the strategy videos. Guys, why do I make strategy videos? For you guys only, right? Because everybody cannot solve and grasp things the same way. Everybody has different needs. So everybody needs to know which are the important topics, what is the correct way of solving the paper, is there any trick to mark the options. Yesterday only I made a video. Before that I have given you Sureshot videos. So attend all the classes. We all are taking classes for you. So many teachers are coming over here teaching you physics, chemistry, maths. You need to attend these classes, mock tests, strategy videos, the classes. All this is for you only. So make sure that you make the best benefit out of it. Don't just cry and don't just waste your time. There is still a lot of things that you can do in the last 1 month. Okay? Even the first attempt is not yet over. Moving on to the next question coming up on your screen. So, oh, I think Wasim sir is here. Oh, hello Wasim sir. Nice to see you. Wasim sir from Kashmir, the chemistry master teacher, the best teacher that you can find, guys. And he's right now over here. Hello Wasim sir. The current I is flowing in a hexagonal coil of side A, and the magnetic field strength at the center of the coil will be how much? So this is a hexagonal coil, and you need to find the field at the center. How are you going to do that? Well, the first thing you should realize, each part will create the same field. Each part will create the same field. It's a hexagon, 6 sides. So you find the field by one side, multiply it 6 times, you are going to get the answer. So the net field will be 6 times the field created by any one side. Now let's analyze any one side in detail so that we get the answer. If you take any one side that has some length A, and yes, there is some current, and you want to find the field at this point O, what you need to do is first of all drop a perpendicular out here. Drop a perpendicular out here. Let's say I'm just going to call that distance as D. Also join the ends of the wire. Join the ends of the wire. Oh, I know one thing, that's a special property of hexagon. You can make 6 triangles inside the hexagon. So if this is side A, this is also A, this is also A, total angle is 60, this and this, each of them are 30 degrees each. Each of them are 30 degrees each, correct? It's an equilateral triangle. You can make 6 triangles inside. Now, what you need to do is that you need to check out what is this distance, because I am going to need it while I find the field at this point due to this wire. Remember that formula? Magnetic field due to a wire is given by mu naught current by 4 pi, okay? And you have distance over here, and you have sine alpha plus sine beta. What is alpha and beta? Alpha and beta are the angles which are subtended by the ends of the wire at the point where you want to find the field. So those are the angles subtended. So I think alpha and beta both are 30. So this is going to be mu naught I by 4 pi. Alpha and beta both are 30. So 2 times of sine 30. Great. Everybody understanding this? Lastly, what else is there? What else is there? Yes, this distance. Oh, this distance? Well, this is A. Obviously, this distance will be A cos of 30. So cos 30 is nothing but root 3 by 2. So just put that over here. So that will be A root 3 by 2. Now take this value and put it over here. So hence, what are you going to get? This will be nothing but 6 times of. Just use the same value over here. It will be mu naught I into 2 into sine 30 upon 4 pi A root 3 by 2. See what and all things will get cancelled. You will get the answer. Okay. First of all, I'll just write down the constants. Mu naught I by pi and A. So you have 6 over here. You have 2 over here. This 2 also goes. Sine 30 has half over here. And you will have root 3 over here. 2 goes. Correct? Guys, everybody fine? And that 4 is also there over here. So this 2 goes with this. So this will become 2. This 2 and this 6 will go. This will become 3. Root 3 and 3 will go. This will become root 3. So root 3 mu naught I by pi A. root 3 mu naught I by pi a. Just check this out. Is that there? Option D. There you go. Very good. Excellent. Okay. Oh, now we never know who is the real one. Oh my God. Very cool, very cool. Awesome, guys. You succeeded in doing April Fool. No, what is this? June. Wow, wow, wow. Very good. Chalo. Sir, why you substituted A cos 30 down instead on the top? See, this distance is the distance between the point and the wire. So this distance is there in the denominator, so that's why I need to substitute it over here. And this distance is nothing but hypotenuse cos 30. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So substitute it here. And then finally it will come below. And eventually root 3 and 3 will cancel. Only root 3 will go on the top. That's all. Okay? I hope this is clear. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. This is an easy one. I want everybody to spam the answer. Come on, everybody. This is a common kind of question. They give you shells, they give you charges, and then they ask you questions on field or potential. Come on, this is very easy. Everybody should spam the answer. Look at the diagram. Hollow conducting sphere is there. Inner radius R, outer radius R. Some points are marked. Potentials are asked. What should be the answer, guys? What is the property of a conductor? A conductor will never have field inside or in the surface. So use that concept and see what will happen. Field will be 0 inside the conductor. So all this space will have no field. The charges are going to be there only on the surface. Only on the surface. Field inside will be 0. That means voltage will be constant. If voltage is constant, all the points have same potential. That is point A, point B, point C, point O, all have the same potential. As simple as that. That's it. Done. Moving on to the next one. Okay. So remember these properties. Charges are only on the surface. Field inside a conductor is 0. Even if there is a cavity, unless there is a charge present, you will see the field will be 0. All points have the same potential because there is no field. Field always goes from high potential to low potential. These are the properties and concepts used. There is a capacitor and a coil in series. They are connected to a 6-volt AC source. By changing the frequency of the source, maximum current is 600. Same coil now connected to a cell. Now what is the new current? So earlier there was a coil, there was a capacitor, obviously there is a resistance as well. It's connected to a AC source. You find that there is maximum current in it. And in the second case, you just take the coil. Obviously the coil will have some kind of an internal resistance. You connect it to a fixed battery source. Okay, positive, negative. In this case, what is the new current? That is the question. Come on guys, what are you going to do? Figure this out. Yes, Ayush, that was hollow. So even when it is hollow, right, there will be nothing inside. I mean, there will be no field inside unless you place a charge inside that hollow part. Ayush. Sasi Priya, not yet, bacha. Nothing yet. Abhishek saying D. Anisha also saying D. Is it? Let's try to figure this out. How do we do this? First of all, this is a LCR circuit. And since it is clearly given that maximum current is there, that means it is nothing but resonance, and only in resonance the current is maximum, and that is given by the voltage of that AC source upon the impedance, which happens to be the resistance. So from this you can find the resistance of that inductor. So how do you find it? The resistance will be the voltage of the AC source by that current, and the voltage is nothing but given to be 6. Current is given to be nothing but 600 milli, which is 10 to the power minus 3. So 6 cancels. So this will become 1 by 0.1, which is nothing but 10 ohm. So the resistance of the coil is 10 ohms. Now in the next part, what are you going to do? There is this inductance and this resistance is 10 ohms, and apart from that there is an internal resistance as well as of 2 ohms. So this current now will be the voltage which is given, a cell of 6 volts. So voltage divided by total resistance, which is 2 plus 10, which is nothing but 6 by 12, which is nothing but half, which is nothing but 0.5 amperes. So I think this should be the current, option A. Just check this out. Just check this out. Is that making sense? Good afternoon, Abhishek. Nice to see you guys. 0.5. Yep, it is. So the idea over here was, in the first scenario, it was resonating. So the impedance is the resistance and current is maximum when, you know, the voltage across inductor and capacitor cancel. So the current maximum is just V by R. From that I found the resistance in the circuit. The same resistance is used next time, but in addition to that there is an additional internal resistance. But this is a DC circuit, this was a AC circuit. So you have two circuits, one AC, one DC in the same problem. That's the best part about this problem. Moving on to the next question, guys. Thank you, Gigan. Let's move on to the next one. So what do we have over here? We have a galvanometer of resistance 50 ohms, current through the galvanometer which it can handle, maximum deflection is 0.01, and how much resistance you should use so that you convert it into a 0 to 8 ampere ammeter. So this is an ammeter, that's why you have a shunt resistance. So the concept of an ammeter is that if a very large current like 8 amperes flows through it, very small current will flow here, the remaining current will flow here, and that will be 8 minus 0.01, which is roughly 8 amperes only. It is obviously roughly 8 amperes. That much current will flow through the shunt. This is your shunt resistance. Now this part and this part are in parallel. The shunt is parallel to the galvanometer, and in a parallel circuit, remember the current is inversely proportional to the resistance. Wherever there is high resistance, less current will flow in that branch. Wherever there is low resistance, more current will flow in that branch. So I can say that the current in the galvanometer upon the current in the shunt resistance will be the shunt resistance divided by the galvanometer resistance. So this is the galvanometer resistance and this is the shunt resistance. So what is the current through the galvanometer? It is 0.01. Current through the shunt resistance, that is 8. The resistance of the shunt, that is exactly what we need to find. And the resistance of the galvanometer is nothing but 50. So RS will be nothing but, take this over there. So 50 into 0.01 divided by 8. Come on guys, do the math. Do the math and tell me what is the answer. Do the math. Do the math. Come on, quickly tell me the answer. 50 into 0.01. Come on guys, it should be 0.062. Right? Everybody got it? 0.062. Obviously it cannot be 15. Obviously it can't be this. Look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. It can't be this. It has to be 0.5 by 8. Obviously you can eliminate this and this. Oh, it can't be 0.16 also, because there will be one more decimal. Only after that the values will start coming. So you can eliminate this. So only this will be correct. That's all. Very good. Even if you sit and calculate, you will get the same thing. But this is how you can speed up the calculations in the examination. Very good. Thank you, Rishwant. From next week, every day, 2022 question paper solution discussion will be there. Yes, depending on the dates. Whenever the examination will be conducted, those days you are going to have the question paper discussion on this channel live immediately. So if the paper happens in the afternoon, immediately after that, after 1.5 hours, you will start seeing the solutions live on this channel. In this question, plus Q, minus Q are the charges connected. They are connected by a non-conducting rod, and there is an axis about which that rod can rotate. There are two more charges placed on the sides. The question is, if for the dipole shown in this particular situation, which kind of equilibrium is this? Thank you, Nurul. No problem. 1 month can also make a difference. Last year, many students found me even just few days before the exam. Still, they said, "Sir, I at least got 2 questions just by 1 or 2 sessions of yours." So I'm pretty sure in the next 1 month, it's going to make a lot of difference. Don't worry. Don't have any regrets. And guys, also do not forget to smash the like button in case you have forgotten. This is a sure shot, most expected questions mock test. It's a marathon. It's a big session. There are 50 questions in this particular session of physics for your JEE preparation for the upcoming mains examination. So go ahead, smash the like button, and if you're not yet join the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because there are going to be lots and lots of discussions and mock tests which are going to happen in the days to come. Okay, so let's try this out. First of all, let's try to disturb it. The best way to find whether it is in equilibrium or not and what kind is to disturb it. If you disturb something and it comes back, it is stable equilibrium. If you disturb something slightly and it gets excited and turns away, then it is unstable equilibrium. Like you disturb it and it falls, that's it, it's unstable. If you disturb something and you leave it, it stays there, or it keeps moving uniformly, then it is neutral equilibrium. So let's try to disturb it and see what happens. So if I slightly tilt it over here, this is your positive charge, this is your negative charge. Okay, and on this axis and on this axis, you have the positive charge here, you also have the positive charge here. So what will happen is, this positive charge will obviously repel, this will repel this charge, okay, and this negative charge has come closer. I know this charge also repels it, but it has gone far away. Let's ignore that for a moment. Just see one side. When this comes closer, there will be further attraction. There will be attraction over here. This repulsion will create a torque like this. This attraction will create a torque like this. They are basically going to balance each other out because of symmetry. Hence, you will see that the net torque will be 0. If net torque is 0, that means there is no further push or pull on that rod. So if you displace it, you are seeing that the net torque is 0, it stays there as it is. The same thing will also be true by symmetry if you move it that side. You will see that the rod stays there as it is. So you are going to say that the rod is in what kind of equilibrium? It's obviously going to be in neutral equilibrium. That's it. As simple as that. No, it is not unstable. It is not like not equilibrium. It is in equilibrium, but it is in neutral equilibrium. Why is it in equilibrium? Because if you see, positive will repel, negative with these charges will attract. So it will try to balance the forces, it will stay there. If you disturb it, it stays there. If you disturb it, it stays there. It's a neutral kind of an equilibrium. Okay, so that's the answer. No, it is not A. Hi Sanju Devi. Got it guys? Understood? Clear? So a lot of students make that mistake that it is stable. Stable means what? If it was stable, then if you disturb it like this, the net torque should be like this. This is your displacement. If it was unstable, then when you displace it like this, there should be a net torque like this. In case of neutral, when you displace it, there should be no torque. There should be no torque. That's it. It should be as it is. That's the difference. I hope this is clear. Can we move ahead? Is NIT Imphal Manipur decent enough? Yes. ZM Harkip, it's a good NIT bacha if you are from the northeast, but if you are willing to travel and if you are willing to stay a little bit far away, I would recommend you work even harder and try to come to some good NITs like Trichy, Calicut, Nagpur, Warangal, Suratkal. All these are good NITs which you can work for. Okay, no problem. So let's see what's the next question. This is a modified question on Thomson's model. Remember Thomson's model? It was like, you know, all the charges are equally distributed throughout the volume of that sphere, and then you have electrons which are embedded in it. Now this is a beautiful question on modern physics combined with electrostatics, and you have 2 electrons which are residing inside that Thomson's model of atom. Remember, the sphere is positively charged. Okay, so the sphere is going to be positively charged, It's going to be positively charged, but it is uniform, of course. And these electrons are at rest. They are in equilibrium for that separation. The question is, what is the separation between them? So let's try and understand what exactly is happening out there. So if you look at those electrons, or if you concentrate on any one of the electron, so which is at certain distance, let's say d from the center. This is the other electron, obviously. Again, it is at a distance of d from the center. What you will see is that these two electrons will obviously repel each other because of similar charges. So there will be a force of repulsion between them because of like charges. But do not forget, electron is a negative charge and the sphere is a positive charge. So the sphere will create an attractive inward force towards the center. So the sphere's positive charge will create an attractive force towards the center. Now since it is given that it is in equilibrium, that means these two forces will cancel each other. So I am just going to say that the force because of the sphere, which is attractive in nature, which is this way, will be balanced by the force of repulsion because of the two charges. Now because of the two charges, the force will be K into Q divided by the distance square. The distance is 2d, so I'm just going to put 2d over here, is equal to the force of attraction on the charge because of the positively charged sphere will be given by the standard formula, which you should remember. Well, if you are at some distance x, then the field at that point is given by kqx divided by r cube. This was the field formula for a uniformly charged sphere. So force will be field into the charge. So hence it will be K. The charge will be 2e. The capital charge is 2e into x. X over here is d, of course. It is d into the charge, because field into the charge gives you force, upon r cube. Here r is, I think, r only as it is. So this is r cube. Did you understand the concept here? So this is the field, and this field into force gives you, field into charge gives you the force. Field into the charge gives you the force. Very, very important. I hope this is clear. Great. Now, moving on, just cancel out all the terms which are similar. K, E square will get cancelled. So I think I'm just left with over here as 4d square. Here I have 2d and here I have r cube. So rearrange, I'll get r cube is equal to 2 into 4 is 8, 8d cube. That means r is equal to 2d. Now as per the question, what is the equilibrium separation between the electrons is asked. Separation between the electrons, check that out geometrically. It is d plus d, that means 2d, and we just found out 2d is nothing but r. Hence the correct answer should be r, which is option A. So these kind of questions can come in JEE Mains, where they combine two chapters. They have asked a question on Thomson's model. Who could have thought they can ask a question on Thomson's model this way? So atomic structure, they usually play around with the theories, Bohr's model, Thomson's model, Rutherford model. So they ask questions coupled with electrostatics or energy, or some kind of concept which you would never have thought about. But yes, if you know your previous theory, you can do the problem. Hello Dhanalakshmi. Yes, Discovery Science. Yes, it's Coulomb's force cola. Is there any crash course for second attempt? Yes, there is a link in the description box below. Check it out. That's a live crash course which is going to continue till the, I think, second last week of your JEE Mains, and in the last week you are going to have even more practice sessions and strategy sessions. So that is the crash course exactly for your second attempt. The link is there in the description box. Yeah. Yes, we are going to come to momentum conservation also. Yeah, momentum conservation. Oh, you meant momentum conservation with modern physics? Yes, they do ask, where two charges collide and then you have to find what is the new velocity, or a charge explodes, nucleus explodes. Momentum conservation. Yes, they do ask momentum conservation also. This is the ideal monoatomic gas undergoing process AV as shown. The intercept on the volume axis is V naught. The volume of the gas when the temperature is maximum. I think there is a missing data over here. Well, this was supposed to be actually 45 degrees. What is the maximum temperature at? What is the volume of the gas when the maximum temperature occurs? General Safford, I have conducted one session on B arc, but that is not like a session where I am teaching, but I have given the information for B arc. But if there are many students who are interested in B arc, maybe you can leave a comment. I'll definitely make a strategy video and what things you should take care of, especially for B arc examination. Definitely. Okay. If amplitude is dependent of frequency, then why is it found that any ray with high frequency has high amplitude? No, discovery science, that's wrong. What you're saying, high frequency has high energy because of the frequency, because of HF. Energy of a photon is HF. If frequency goes high, energy of each photon goes high. That's how it is. Okay. Now, is there possibility for appearing in NEET question? Yes, never know. Who knows? Okay. So, the logic in these kind of questions is, whenever you have pressure versus volume graph, these curves are called as isotherms. That's where the temperature is going to be constant. And as you jump from here to here to here, you go to a higher temperature. You go to a higher temperature. Now that is a straight line. Now if you can visualize isotherms over here, you will see, you will go to higher temperature like this. And I think maximum temperature is occurring over here. Look at this, maximum temperature is occurring over here. That's exactly the midpoint, because this is a symmetric curve. This is a symmetric curve about x and y axis. So this is going to be exactly at the midpoint. So if this is V naught, this point will be at V naught by 2. This will be at V naught by 2. So it's basically a straight line and you have a curve. Okay, this is V naught. You can think of a triangle over here. So this point will be nothing but midpoint of that. That's all. As simple as that. Option C. Great. Awesome. V naught by 2. So Rohan, maybe in the near future, maybe we'll come up with this, because most of the students usually aim for IIT, JEE, ISC, ISERs, ISTs, triple ITs. Usually most students want to appear for the best of the best. So that's why we usually conduct coaching for that. But maybe in the near future, we will try for MHT CAT. Who knows, we might come up for all the individual state board examinations as well. Already we have state board for Maharashtra coaching, which is available in Vedantu. So you never know, in the near future things will definitely turn up. Let's move on to the next question. Wow, we have a beautiful question coming up. There are two masses, A and B, 0.5 kg and 1 kg respectively. These are arranged as shown. The coefficient of friction for all the surfaces is 0.4. The force needed to move B with constant speed will be. Let's try to do this question. First of all, let's draw the FBD. Only then we'll get the answer. So let's draw the FBD of A separately and then B separately. If you draw the FBD of A, which is nothing but having a mass of 0.5 kg, this is 0.5 kg, this is block A, there will be one tension force, of course. There will be one normal force, I can call it N1. There will be 0.5 G, which I can just call it as 5 Newton force. And yes, because you are pulling it that side, the friction will oppose it, and this friction will be kinetic in nature, which will be mu into N1. That mu value is given as 0.4. So it will be 0.4 into normal 1. Normal 1 will be nothing but 5. So you can just 4 5s are 20. So it is nothing but 2 Newton force. So it's a 2 Newton force of friction which is acting. Remember, everything is moving with constant velocity. That means acceleration is 0 everywhere. So yes, I'm just going to put 0 acceleration over here just for my knowledge. Moving on to the next one. Hello Jay Ajinkya. Yes, VIT Triple E, I will try to conduct a mock test very soon, definitely. Kola, thermodynamics is also important. We'll have some questions on that as well. Like the previous one was also a question on thermodynamics, the gas laws. So that's a standard, curve, isotherms, isobars, isocores. These are lines which occur when pressure, volume, temperature, etc. are constant. You'd have seen that in thermodynamic processes. Yes, it is from thermodynamics. Okay, so let's do the FVD for the second block, which is having a mass of 1 kg. This is block B. From the top there will be a normal, and because this friction is acting this way, by Newton's third law, on that block below there will be a friction acting this way. Obviously the value is 2 Newton. This is the normal from the upper block. There will be 1 kg's weight, which is 1 g here, and yes, there will be a normal from below. I'm just going to call it as N2. And because the string is wound, there will be a tension T, and because the block is going this way, there will be also another friction Fk2, which will act at the bottom surface, and this will be mu into that new normal N2. Mu is 0.4. Normal force is going to be the total weight, which is 1 plus 0.5. So it is 1.5 into G. See if this makes sense. Because the total normal will be the total weight which it will be supporting. Now G is 10. So this will become 4. So 4 into 1.5. 15 4s are 60. So this is just going to be 6 Newton. Now just solve the problem for this. Okay. And you are applying a force from here, of course. So I can say for this guy, the force F will be the tension plus this friction plus this friction. I do not know the tension, so that value I'll get it from here. You can see that these two forces should cancel each other because acceleration is 0. So tension should be equal to Fk. That means it should be equal to 2 Newton. So this is the value of tension I got, which I'm going to substitute it over here. So this is 2 Newton. Rest of the values as it is. Fk is also 2, and Fk2 is nothing but 6. That's it. It should be nothing but 10 Newton. Just check this out, guys. Yep, it is. So the direction of friction in B should be towards right. Direction of friction in B should be towards right. Yes, it is towards the right. It is towards the right, definitely. Oh, based on yesterday's video, it should be B and C. Yes, you see my trick works. Lower value and extreme value goes away. The median values should be one of them. Thank you, Jay. And thanks to the team which helps collect the questions, make the questions, type it. It takes a lot of effort. So guys, today's session, although I'm taking it for, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, I don't know how much time will it go. A lot of effort goes at the background also. Okay, so it takes around at least 6 hours to 7 hours to just collect, type. There is a separate person to type, separate person to collect, separate person to verify. So many things happen. Yeah. NLM solution. Kola, just watch my Newton's laws of motion 0 to hero series. It's there. The playlist is there. 0 to hero. If you feel that you need more detail, then check flash series. That is crisp, concise, but not one shot. But if you feel even more detail is needed, then there is the long-term series also, the 11th standard long-term batch series lectures in the 11th standard playlist. All the 3 options are available. One shot, concise but not lengthy, and the lengthiest lecture. All 3 variations are available. All the chapters are available like that. Okay, so 10 Newton is the answer. Moving on to the next one. Try to solve this. Again, a question on thermodynamics. A cyclic process of enclosed gas of constant mass is represented by this. What is the correct representation? Now these kind of questions do come where they give you one graph and they ask you to convert it into some other graph. That trick will work on all the subjects, Tharak. It will work on all the subjects. Stravanan, if you're a part of the pro subscription, the HC Verma course is free of cost. You can't buy it separately. You have to be a part of the pro subscription. It is then free of cost. Okay, so let's try this out. First of all, what you can do is that look at each of the segments separately. Now B to C, if you see this part, this is where volume is constant. This is where volume is constant. So check in these graphs wherever volume is constant. Yes, B to C, you can see volume is constant. Here B to C, temperature is constant, obviously eliminate it. Obviously eliminate it. Look at this, B to C, volume is not constant. Here temperature is constant. B to C, pressure is constant, obviously eliminate this also. Here B to C, pressure is proportional to temperature. Yes, this can be one of the option. This can be one of the option. This is where pressure is proportional to temperature only when volume is constant. This can be one of the option. Okay. B and C got eliminated. Next, let's look at something else. Maybe C to A. C to A, you can see temperature is constant. Temperature is constant. C to A, yes, this is an isotherm. Maybe this is correct. Isotherm. So in an isotherm, the temperature is constant. So maybe option A is correct. Don't even bother B and C. Look at directly D. So A to C. A to C, you can see again temperature is constant, definitely. So maybe this can be also correct. Maybe this can be also correct. So here also temperature is constant. Now last one, that is A to B. A to B, you can see that volume is proportional to temperature. That means pressure is constant. If pressure is constant, let us see from A to B. Yes, pressure is constant. Pressure is constant, A to B, you can see that. And here also pressure is definitely constant. Here also pressure is constant, and here also pressure is definitely constant. And the arrow marks also you need to check. Arrow marks also you need to check. Check this carefully. From B to C, where the volume was constant, the temperature is decreasing. From B to C, where the volume was constant, the temperature is decreasing. Yes, temperature is decreasing, correct. Here B to C, pressure is decreasing. Yes, you are going to a lower temperature. So I think both options are correct now. Both options are correct. Both options. A as well as D. A as well as D. So that's how you go about it. Got it? So I know it has come in a single choice, but you can have options like A and B both are correct. B and C both are correct. All are correct. A and C are correct. So they can give you multiple choice questions also in the form of single correct. I hope everybody knows this. So A and B, A and D, both options were correct in the previous one. Next question, again on thermo. Here you have questions on the calorimeter concept, where you need to make use of the specific heat capacity of the gases. See this question. Equal masses of three liquids are there, 10 degrees, 25, 40, and they are mixed separately. So what is the final temperature when the first and the third liquid is mixed? Let's try this out. So first time, this and this are mixed and the final temperature is 15. So for A and B, what will I say? Heat lost by A is heat gained by B. Heat lost by A is heat gained by B. So I think who is colder here? A is colder, B is hotter. So I think B will lose heat, A will gain heat. So A will gain how much heat? MA CA delta T will be equal to MB CB into delta T. This is delta T for A, this is delta T for B. Start substituting, masses are equal. So anyways, cancel the masses. Specific heat capacity is Ca, which I do not know. Temperature difference. Earlier it was 10, now it has become 15. So I should just put it as 15 minus 10. Specific heat capacity I do not know. Temperature difference 25 to 15. Higher minus lower always. So you will see Ca is equal to 15 minus 10 is 5. 25 minus 15 is 10. So it will be 2 times of Cb. This is one equation which I got. This is one equation which I got. Now let's try it for B and C. Let's try it for B and C. Similarly, what will you get? Mass of B into specific heat capacity of B into change in temperature of B is equal to mass of C into specific heat capacity of C into change in temperature of C. Mass of B and mass of C are equal masses are given, specific heat capacity as it is. So for B and C, that means these two, the final temperature is 30. So B's temperature has changed from 25 to 30, so I should just put it as 30 minus 25. For C, the temperature changes 40 to 30, so higher minus lower. So CB will be, again, this is 5, this is 10, so it will be 2 times of CC. This is what I got. Now from this, I can also get one more thing, and that is, this is 2 times of CB itself is 2 times of CC, so it will be 4 times of CC. This is another relationship which I get between C and A. Now for the last part, where you mix A and C together. So for A and C, mass of A into specific heat capacity of A into change in temperature of A will be mass of C into specific heat capacity into change in temperature. Mass again gets cancelled. Specific heat capacity of A is 4 times specific heat capacity of C. Temperature difference, I do not know, but T minus temperature of A initially was 10. So just put 10 over here. CC, you put it as it is. C had temperature of 40, so 40 will now become T. So just put it over here. CC gets cancelled, so it will become 4T minus 40 is equal to 40 minus T. Wow, what an interesting line. Wow, T goes over there, so it will become 5T. 40 becomes 80, so T will become 16. Is 16 there somewhere? Option A. No, it was not B. It is A. That is the correct answer. Now, these kind of questions are also very common. They are lengthy, but they will for sure give you the answer if you don't make any stupid or silly mistake. That means if I see 2 questions, one is very hard, but I know it is very conceptual, or I know that I know 3 steps, but I don't know the 4th step. But this question, I know for sure I'll get the answer. I will go for this question because I know for sure I'm going to get the marks. Even though it is lengthy, I don't want negative marks. I always want the positive marks. Moving on to the next one. Can you leave optics for JEE Mains, Shreyas? Then you better have something better to compensate for that. A monoatomic gas is taken from A to C. The temperature at B is 27. The change in the internal energy of the gases. What is the formula for change in the internal energy of any gas? I think it is NCV delta T. I do not know the temperature at this and this point. Okay. N, that also I don't know. CV, I think I can figure it out. Okay, so I can write it as N RF by 2. Remember, CV is R, gas constant, into degrees of freedom by 2 into change in temperature, which is T2 minus T1. Okay, I can rearrange this as F by 2, and then I can write it as nRT2 minus nRT1. The reason why I wrote it like this is because then I can write it as F by 2, and then I can put brackets. nRT is PV, so this will be nothing but P2V2, and this will be nothing but P1V1 using gas law. So now I have got everything in known values, in known terms. So let's start using the values given here and substitute here. F, it's monoatomic. Monoatomic means F is 3 translational degrees. So F is 3 divided by 2. Final pressure, final volume. This is 200, this is 150. Take care the units are not SI. So I will convert it later on. Hold on. 200. So this will be 200 into 150 minus P1V1. That will be 100 into 100. And pressure is in kilopascal, so 10 to the power 3. Volume is in cc, converted into meter cube by multiplying by 10 to the power minus 6. So this will become 3 by 2. Okay, I can take 1, 2, 3 zeros, 1, 2, 3 zeros outside. So it will become 20, sorry, my bad, not 20, 2 into 15, because I have taken 3 zeros outside. 1, 2, 3 zeros outside, so minus 10. So 3 zeros outside, and this would have become, okay, I'll just keep it as it is for now. Okay, now these things cancel. 10 to the power 6 and 10 to the power minus 6 cancel. So this will become 3 by 2, and 2, 15, 30, 30 minus 10 is 20. So this will become nothing but 30. So answer is 30, of course. Oh my God, have you guys learnt my trick or what? Kya baat hai? Amazing. Lowest value 15, highest value 30, but guys, a lot of you would have thought the answer will be 20 or 25, but sometimes it will not work. No tharak. Not every time. Okay, so it is option C. Sometimes it will work, sometimes it will not work. That's why I told you, I gave a disclaimer also. Don't use it every time. Sometimes it will work. Okay? But 50% of the times it will work. That means it's a good chance. Even if 50 questions you get wrong, 50 questions you will get correct. So 50 into percentage wise, you will get positive marks. That's a better way of looking at it. Okay. Next question, guys. Himanshu, you can't revise the entire syllabus in 7 days. That will be deceiving you. So what you should do is revise the important topics in 7 days. So there is a list of chapters which you need to do. I have made a video on that. Watch that. Only do those chapters in 7 days. That is more than enough. How to remember formulas? Kola Ashwant. Just check out the playlist. It's just there for formula revision. Okay, just probably when you're on YouTube right now or maybe later on, just go to playlist tab and just go to formula revision over here. Where did it go? Yes, there, formula revision. I have taught you the tricks to remember the formulas in this big session. Just check this out. Okay, so that's your formula revision session which you need to see. It's all there in the playlist. Let's solve the next question. This is based on efficiency of Carnot engine. This always comes either refrigerator or Carnot engine for sure. The efficiency is this much, it rejects this much, the work done by the engine is how much. So efficiency of an engine is given by how much work it does upon how much heat it absorbs. But work done by the engine is asked and heat rejected is given, and we know how is work, heat rejected and absorbed related to each other. Absorbed heat, whatever you absorb goes into work and remaining is rejected. So using energy conservation, absorbed heat is work plus the heat which is rejected, and this is your efficiency. Now just multiply. Efficiency is 0.6, so work plus heat rejected is 20 is equal to the work done. So guys, this is going to be 20 multiplied by 0.6 is equal to work minus 0.6 work. So 26, right? Sorry, 2 6 are 12, correct? So this is 12 and this is W into 0.4. So work done, guys. Come on, what is it going to be? It's 12 by 4, which is 3, but there is a point, so it will be 30. Hence the answer should be 30. Just check this out. Yep, it is. Awesome, guys. Did you see that? Very good. So how many questions from these sessions, Shreyas? Who knows? Maybe 1, maybe 10, maybe 5. Conceptually, many questions. I can assure you on that. Many questions will come. Conceptually, at least, the pattern, the type of the questions will come. Like maybe this question may come in terms of refrigeration. So you should know the formula for refrigeration. And in the refrigeration, again, if you know the coefficient of performance is nothing but how much heat you absorb upon the work, this is conceptually similar to this question. That's all. Understood? That's all that is there. Same thing. Again, I'm not saying this exact same question will come, but they will give you a graph, change the values, and they'll ask you change in internal energy. Some way or the other, you might have to convert temperature into pressure. Who knows? So these concepts are very important. I'm not saying exactly same thing will come, but a part of the solution might come. Maybe this part might come, maybe this part might come. Values can change. Maybe this graph can be different. Who knows? Maybe in this question, instead of 3 mixtures, they might give you 4 mixtures, or they might just give you 2 mixtures. Maybe they will give you ice with water. Who knows? Maybe in this question, they might give you a different graph. maybe they give you this and you have to find the other one. So things can change. Okay guys, I hope this is clear. Now moving on to the next one. Why minus? Minus? Why will they have minus? No, I know. Oh, why do you want minus? No, it's not going to be minus, bacha. It's just the work done by the engine. Work done by the engine will be positive only. It will not be minus. It's fine. It's all positive. 1 minus 0.6 is 0.4. 12 by 0.4 is 30. That's correct. Everything is fine. No problem. A non-conducting rod AB of length L has some charge. The rod is, my God, roasted. This is somebody making fun, I guess. This is not roasted, guys. It is rotated. So sorry about that. And it is rotating about an axis through the center of mass. The question is, what is the magnetic moment of the rod? Well, this is a concept where angular momentum and magnetic moment are related to each other. So come on guys, let me know, how is magnetic moment related to the angular momentum? Tell me quickly. Hello Latesh, good evening. Come on. Good afternoon, sorry. What am I saying? Good evening. My bad. Good afternoon. Come on. Think, how is magnetic moment and angular momentum related to each other? A or D? Oh my God. Somebody is completely on Tukka game today. Completely fluke. Tharak is completely on flukes today. EMI, which formula? No, it's not EMI, it's magnetic moment. Magnetic moment by angular momentum is charged by 2 times of mass. So magnetic moment will be L into Q by 2m. L is nothing but I omega into Q by 2m. So what is moment of inertia of a rod? It is m L square by 12. Omega is omega, Q is Q, 2m is 2m. So cancel out. So you will get Q omega L square by 24. That's the answer. That's option C. That's option C. Very good. No, it is not A and D. So that's why I told you, be careful. No, don't go by fluke every time. Okay. Cool. Let's move on to the next one. An object is placed 30 centimeters from convex lens. Yes, optics questions come. Sometimes they can be from combination of lenses. Sometimes they can be finding where should the object be placed so that the image coincides. These kind of questions are very common, where they ask you where should the object or image be placed so that the image coincide, or where should you place the object or mirror or lens so that no image is formed. Standard questions. Now there is an object at 30 centimeters from convex lens of focal length 15. On the other side is a convex mirror of focal length 12, and so that the principal axis coincide. Okay, the object and the image coincide. What is the separation between the lens and the mirror? Let's draw it, guys. It's simple. So if this is the lens, this is the object. Object is placed at 30 centimeters, and lens has a focal length is 15 centimeters. What will happen is the rays from the object will go like this, and since the image and the object coincide, that means the rays should go do something and again come back via the same path. So the path of the rays is same. So how can that happen? Well, let us see. It can happen in one of these two ways. Observe this carefully now. Observe this carefully. If number one, you place the mirror itself here. The convex mirror is placed here exactly at the pole. So wherever the image is formed, this is where the image is formed, you place the pole of the convex mirror, the rays will again reflect back via the same way. Agree? Understood? So Himanshu, is the same thing. M by L is equal to Q by 2m. Angular momentum will be mr square into omega. That's it. As simple as this. Now, what you need to also understand, there is another possibility of this, and that second possibility is, if you place the convex mirror here, so that this point becomes the center of curvature. So one option is the pole of the mirror, this point becomes the pole of the convex mirror. The second option is this point becomes the center of curvature, so the rays reflect back along the same path. Everybody knows this. No, it's clearly mentioned that it is a convex mirror. It's mentioned here that it is convex mirror. Oh, even if it was a concave mirror, still this trick will work. If this point was the pole, the rays will reflect back via the same way. Okay, so now what next? Let's try to find out where is the image formed. Where is the image formed? Using your lens formula. So 1 by V minus 1 by U is equal to 1 by F. Therefore 1 by V minus 1 by minus 30 is equal to 1 by focal length, which is 15. Therefore 1 by V is equal to 1 by 15 minus 1 by 30, which is 2 minus 1 by 30, which is 1 by 30. So therefore V is equal to 30 centimeters. So now I got to know that the image is formed at 30 centimeters. So what is the separation between the lens and the mirror? There are two options possible. If you place the mirror over here, then the first option of separation is going to be this one, which is nothing but 30 centimeters. Yes, 30 centimeters is possible. So this option is definitely possible. Second option is when you make this as the center of curvature. So this is the radius of curvature. Radius is 2 times focal length. Focal length of the mirror is 12 centimeters. So 2 into 12, which is 24 centimeters. So if this is R, so the separation in this case, will be 30 minus 24. 30 minus 24, which is 6 centimeters. That's it. There you go. Option A is also possible. Hence both 1 and 2. A lot of people will either mark this or this. This will be a 5-star, 5-star question. Very difficult question for JEE Mains. Why? Because 2 options are correct and that is there as the third option. Many students will not think that 2 things are possible. And there are so many things to visualize over here. That's why it is a very good question, which very few people, 99.5 percentile and above only will solve. Autocollineation means whatever is mentioned over here. Object and image, if they coincide, that is called as autocollimation. That's it. They will mention in the question only. Got it? Very beautiful question. Moving on to the next one. What do we have? A parallel plate capacitor with a slab inside completely filled. Okay, plates are charged by battery and then disconnected. The slab is pulled out. Which of the following graphs represents qualitatively the variation of capacitance of the system with time? So you have a capacitor, okay, and it is completely filled with some material. You charge it using a battery and then you disconnect it. So you have just the plates and the material over here as it is. Now you slowly start pulling it out. You slowly start pulling out that material outside. So maybe like this, I can say. So that material is slowly pulled out till finally nothing remains. So in this process, when you pull out that slab, how will that capacitance change? Obviously, here the capacitance will be Ck, K times of the normal capacitance. Here the capacitance will become C. So from Ck to C, it will be a linear variation because this velocity is constant. So it will change slowly from K times to 1 time. So it has to decrease linearly. So there is only one such option. Option A. Option B can't be correct because here it is increasing. How can it increase? This is wrong. This is decreasing. This is also increasing. No, this is also wrong. When you remove the capacitor, so dielectric, obviously capacitance will decrease. So D and B automatically get eliminated. It has to be a straight line, not a curved line. Here it is a curved line because velocity is constant. So it will change linearly because of the constant velocity. Rohan, that is a very good idea, bacha. I mean, I can actually do that. It's a very good idea what you suggested. But you know what the problem is? I shouldn't do it on a big screen, what Rohan suggested. I should probably sit with a camera positioned on whatever I'm doing, but maybe on my table. But if I speak it out loud, then maybe I will take a long time. Or would you want it just to see what I'm doing, how I'm solving to get the answer, and you will understand? I think you will need some kind of commentary on what exactly I'm doing while I'm solving, so that you know what is the strategy. Maybe I can do that. It's a good idea. I can focus the camera on my table and I can solve it and give a commentary on what I'm doing, why I'm doing. I will be not even solving the questions in order. I will change the order, so many things. Yeah, I will do that. That's a good idea, definitely. Okay, cool. So let's try to solve maybe an unsolved paper, something which even I will be surprised. So, you know, that way you will get to see how my reaction is when I see an unsolved paper. Okay, so I'll have no idea what is there in the paper and I'll try to solve it. I'll try to do that, guys. In the next few days, I'll see when I can do it. A boat goes downstream for half an hour and goes upstream for half an hour. The total distance traveled by the boat in the ground frame for this is 20. It is known that the speed of the boat relative to the river for the whole trip was constant and greater than the speed of the river. The distance traveled by the boat in the frame of the river is, okay, relative velocity concept. Okay, so what we need to do is that understand that the boat is going downstream for half an hour and then goes upstream for half an hour. Total distance from the ground frame is given. Okay, let's try to visualize this. So the boat starts from here, this is initial point, and goes downstream. This is downstream. So when you go downstream, the speed of the water and the speed of the boat both will get added. So it will be U plus W. W is the speed of water, U is the speed of the boat. It makes a U-turn after half an hour and then again comes back. But while coming back, the speed will be different. It will be U minus W because it is going now upstream. Finally, it reaches here. This is its final position. This is downstream, this is upstream. Everybody cool about this? This was downstream, this was upstream. Now, the total distance traveled by the boat in the ground frame, this is very important, from the ground frame. So that means this distance is given to be 20 kilometers. Interesting. It is known that the speed of the boat relative to the river for the whole trip was constant. Okay, fair enough. So what I can do is, sorry. This is not 20 kilometers, my bad. The ground distance, my bad. This plus this is 20 kilometers. This length plus this length is 20 kilometers. So the total ground distance is 20 kilometers. That means I can say the distance is distance traveled for upstream plus distance traveled for downstream. Now the distance is speed into time. Speed is nothing but how much? Check this out. Oh, it is not given, but I can assume it and I can say it is U plus, and upstream is nothing but U minus W. So U minus W into time. Time is half an hour, and for downstream it is U plus W, and that is again half an hour. So solve this. I think you will get U and U 2 times, and yes, you will get it 2 times, and W will get cancelled and the 2 will remain, right? So this will just become U. So that is the distance traveled, which is 20. So the speed becomes 20 kilometers per hour. That's what I got. Now that I got the speed is 20 kilometers per hour, okay, just from the simple expression, I will think what will be the distance traveled from the river perspective. If you travel with the river, you will only see the boat speed. So in the river frame, you are just going to see the boat, go up like this and come back like this. Now in that situation, you will not see the water speed, so it will be just U and U only, nothing else. It will be just U and U only. It will be the relative speed from the river frame. So the total distance from the river frame will be U into the time plus u into the time, again half an hour to go up, half an hour to come back, so it will be just u, but u is nothing but 20, so it will be nothing but 20 kilometers. That's it, that's the answer. Let's have a look. Oh yes, it is 20 kilometers, perfecto. Somebody was saying, is this like the question from Urido? Yes, it looks very similar to the question from Urido, the first question. Very interesting question it is. Okay, moving on to the next one now. What do we have? There is a solid cylinder, mass m, wrapped with a string and placed on an inclined plane as shown. Then the frictional force acting between the cylinder and the plane is. Very beautiful question. Let's draw the diagram first. What are the forces acting on it? One is the normal force. Okay. Second, mg will have two components. I'll already split it and do it. So one component will be mg sine 60 degrees and the second component will be mg cos 60. So that is basically mg by 2 and this is nothing but mg root 3 by 2. Okay, there is obviously this tension force over here and this is in equilibrium. That means no acceleration, no angular acceleration, and if you notice there will be also some kind of a friction over here. Now since this is placed on an inclined plane, this is at equilibrium, I will say that the net torque must be 0 about the center, and you can see that mg sine, mg cos and normal, all of them pass through the center, so they cannot create any torque. The only forces which will create torque is the tension and the friction force. Hence, to balance the torque by the tension, which will be this way, will be balanced by the torque by the friction, which will be the opposite way. Torque by tension, torque by friction will be the opposite way. Cool? Great. Now, torque by tension will be R into the tension. Torque by friction will be R into friction. Well, RR goes. So F is equal to T. Interesting result. Frictional force is the tension force. Now let's move ahead and see what else we can do. Since it is equilibrium, net force is also 0. So tension plus friction up the plane will be balanced by mg sine theta, which is mg root 3 by 2 down the plane. But friction is equal to tension. So therefore 2F is equal to mg root 3 by 2. Therefore friction is mg root 3 by 4. Correct? Mg root 3 by 4. Now the moment you see this, you will quickly jump onto the conclusion option A is correct. But hold on. Option A may be correct. I am not sure about it. Why am I not sure about it? Because who says that the friction can actually be this value? Maybe it might be exceeding the limiting value. Maybe the limiting value is only lesser than this. So you need to find the limiting value first. So let's try and find out the limiting value. Is mu given? Yes. So let's try to also find Fs max. Fs max will be mu into n. Mu value is 0.4. N value will be mg divided by 2. 0.4 is nothing but 4 by 10, which is 2 by 5. So it is 2 by 5 into mg by 2. So that is going to be mg by 5. Now compare both the values. Approximately think in your head. Mg by 5, 1/5. Root 3 by 4, 1.7 by 4. Yeah, this is going to be larger. So can you not see that this friction is actually higher than Fs max, which cannot be possible. Friction force always has to be lesser than the friction maximum limiting value. So you cannot exceed Fs max, which is very less. The required friction is more. So the actual friction which will act will not be F, it will be Fs max. Hence the correct answer should be mg by 5. Let's check it out. Yes, it is. That's why it's a very tricky question. 99.9 percentile of the students will fail, 0.1 percentile will get it, and that's why they will be in the 99.9 percentile plus range. That's why it's a very good question. If the body starts moving when the static friction attains the limiting value or after it exceeds it. After it exceeds it, Shreyas. That's a very common doubt. Very good, you asked it. So it reaches Fs max, still it will not move. After it crosses even a decimal value, that's it, it will start moving. If I want to appear for ISRO ICRB examination in the future, can you tell me the full form of ICRB, Bacha? I'm not sure, but I'm guessing if ISRO is there, it might be related to aeronautics, but I don't know. It can be electronics, telecommunication also. If you can tell me what is exactly the field that you are going into, or what is that examination related to? Is it management? Is it electronics? Is it mechanical? Is it jet propulsion? Is it aeronautics? Next question is coming up on your screen. Based on projectile motion, definitely they will ask you questions either on the trajectory or the time of flight or the maximum height, range. Now this question combines two things, height as well as range. So let's try and solve this. So there is a projectile thrown from the floor and there is a ceiling at a height of 5 meters. The question is, what is the maximum range you can get? The moment people see this question, they say, oh, maximum range, angle is 45 degrees. Maximum range angle is 45 degrees. But guys, the range is maximum at 45 degrees, provided you can actually throw it at 45 degrees. Maybe if you throw it at 45 degrees, maybe it hits the roof. Maybe it hits the roof. That's a problem. So that needs to be checked. So what I will do is, I will try to design it in such a way that it reaches over here and then falls. So the maximum height is 5 meters. So then I will be able to go maximum range. If it is able to withstand 45 degrees, good. But if it is not, then I have to try to keep the angle as large as possible. So I will try to keep the height as 5 meters and try to solve the problem, which is u square sine square theta by 2g is the formula. So u is 20, so 20 square sine square theta is equal to 5, and this is 2 into 10. Okay, so let's see this. This is 400 sine square theta is equal to 5, and thus you have 20. This goes, this is 20. So sine square theta is 5 by 20, which is 1 by 4. Therefore sine theta is half. Therefore theta is 30 degrees. Now this is obviously less than 45 degrees. So it's not the maximum range, but this is the best you can do. So this is the best max range you can get. Best max range angle that you have got. So this is the best max range angle that you can get, not more than that. Now what you need to do next is that find out the range using this angle. So the range will be given by u square sine 2 theta by g. Velocity is 20, so 20 square. Sine of 2 theta, that means sine of 60 degrees by g, which is 10. So guys, 20 square is nothing but 400. Sine 60 is nothing but root 3 by 2, of course, and 10 comes over here. This goes, this will become 20. So this will become 20 root 3 meters. That's the answer. That's the answer. Option B, of course. So a lot of people will think it is 45. That is wrong. Many people will think maybe you cannot determine because it hits. No, you can determine it because 30 is close to 40. That's the best you can do. Yes, Harsh, the PDF will be available. Scientist post for BTech students. Yes, understood that, ZM okay. But I want to know which field you want to do research in. Okay, which field? Otherwise, any field will do. Once you are in IIT, right? Any field you can take. But it depends. Sometimes you might want to be a computational engineer. Sometimes you want to be an electronics engineer. So all the branches will be okay, but you need to tell me which field. Okay, I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so what do we have? A bullet of certain mass hits with speed a wooden plank of capital mass placed on a smooth surface. Length of the plank is given. Bullet experiences resistive force. Obviously it will get retarded, and the question is minimum value so that it is able to come out of the plank. Okay, try to visualize the situation. in the minimum value of V naught situation, the plank gets pierced by the bullet, both of them start moving, both of them will start moving, the bullet is inside, this also has some velocity, this will also gain some velocity, and eventually when it reaches the end, the bullet has just reached the end and lost all its energy, but by the time both have acquired the same velocity. Velocity is basically going to be same when it reaches the end. So the bullet reaches inside, it slows down, it accelerates the block accelerates, the bullet decelerates till they reach a common velocity at the end point. So when this situation happens, the velocities become same at the end. Basically, the relative velocity becomes zero. Interesting. So I have force, maybe I can find acceleration, I have distance, I have velocity. I think I need kinematics. So guys, how about kinematics? Final velocity square, which is relative, is initial velocity square, which is again relative, but it is going to retard. So anyways, I'm going to put A relative into S relative. How about this? Isn't this fantastic? Isn't this fantastic equation? I think I know the final relative velocity is going to be zero. It is going to be zero. Initial relative velocity, the block was at rest, the bullet was moving with V naught. So the relative velocity will be just V naught. So it will be just V naught. Okay. Relative acceleration, I do not know. I'll just put a bracket over here. And S relative. So if you look from the block's perspective, the bullet travels a distance of length of the block. So it has traveled this much distance inside the block relative to the block. So I will just put L over here. See if this all makes sense to all of you. See if this makes sense to all of you. Sir, what if it hits the wall? Can it obtain max range? No, if it hits the wall, then what will happen is you do not know what type of collision it is, elastic or inelastic. Maybe it loses some energy. So that's when you will not try to play in that unknown territory. And even if it hits, obviously it will rebound, the angle will be reflected. See, think about it. If it would have hit, it will rebound immediately. But if it can move smoothly, then it will travel a maximum range. So anyways, even if it collides, the range will become less. So collision should be avoided in any case. That's the specialty of mechanics, because mechanics is always going to place a new scenario in front of you. Let's try to analyze backwards. So that's why I've gone backwards in this question. This is reverse engineering. How do I get relative acceleration? Oh, for relative acceleration, I need to know individual acceleration. How do I get to know individual acceleration? I need the force, and I think I can do it then. This mass experiences resistive force. So the acceleration of the bullet will be the force by the mass. By Newton's third law, the same force will also act on capital M, which will accelerate it. The force which decelerates the bullet also accelerates the block, right? So the acceleration of the capital mass will be the same force but capital M. This is action, this is reaction. This is using third law of Newton. This is using your third law of Newton. Hence, what will be the relative acceleration? One is accelerating, one is decelerating. They are opposite to each other. Remember, these two accelerations, I'll just put it over here. These two accelerations are opposite each other. Why is it opposite each other? This is actually decreasing its speed. This is actually increasing its speed. So that's why one is acceleration, one is deceleration. So they're opposite. So the relative acceleration, you will add it, right? You will add it. You will add it. So let's see what happens when you add them. So it will be nothing but AM plus AM. But I know from the block's perspective that mass, that bullet eventually stops. If you sit in the block, I know the block is also moving, but for that block, the bullet will eventually come to rest. So actually speaking, you are retarding. So the relative acceleration is also minus. Relative acceleration is also minus. See if you understand this. See if you understand this. Everybody understands this. I don't know, Sidarshan, maybe another more half an hour, 45 minutes. So this will become minus of F by M plus F by capital M. So take F common and this will just become M plus capital M. upon mm. So take this value and put it over here. So instead of this plus, I'll have to probably put a minus sign. So minus from there, and here F, and here m plus capital M, the whole thing divided by mm. That is what I have done. Let me remove these brackets now. Okay, this is what I have done. Okay, let's solve this now. Bring this whole guy here. So 2 times F into m plus capital M by mm into L is equal to V naught square. So V naught will be root of this. Do I have an option like that? Do I have an option like that? I think so. Just, oh sorry, why did I put M A? This will be M capital M. Yeah. Do I have an option like that? Just check this out. Yes, option B. Option B is like that. Can you see that? If I take the root of this, I'll get this. Got it? Awesome, guys. Awesome. There you go. This was a beautiful question on so many levels. Number 1, relative motion. Number 2, kinematics. Number 3, Newton's third law. Number 4, Newton's second law. And then solving it. Such a beautiful question. Let's move on to the next question. A ring of mass m, this is also a standard type of question, and radius r moves on a rough surface without slipping due to an applied force. So the question is, what is the friction acting on the ring? Start with the free body diagram, of course. There is a force F acting here. Obviously, there will be a normal force here. Okay, there will be a normal force. There will be mg force here downwards, and maybe frictional force, who knows? Frictional force may be like this. Okay, just assume any direction, and there will be some acceleration, and there will be also some kind of angular acceleration because you are pulling that body there. Okay. Now just write net force is ma, net torque is I alpha. So Newton's laws. Net force is mass into acceleration. So that force and this force, that means F plus F is equal to ma. That's one thing. Then what else? Net torque. Yes, I can write net torque is I alpha. Now this force creates a helping torque, assists the alpha. This force creates an opposing torque. Normal and gravity do not give any kind of torque. So R into F, which will help the alpha, minus R into small f, which will oppose the alpha, will be moment of inertia, which is mr square. It's a ring, that's it, into alpha. R goes, so F minus F is equal to mr alpha. But since it is given to be without slipping, that means A is equal to alpha R. So instead of alpha R, I'm just going to put A. So now what I have is this equation, and I also have this equation. Let's solve them together. So how about subtracting them? So subtract them. Subtract, because I want to find the frictional force. So F plus F minus F, minus becomes plus. So plus F will be equal to, that's LHS, it will be MA minus MA. Oh my god. FF goes, this will become 2F, MA minus MA is 0. So F is 0. So there is no friction acting, which is option D. This is option D. Thanga, how is friction in the same direction as that of force? I do not know that. I've just assumed it. And it is possible the friction can be that way or this way. So a lot of people think that friction always opposes the motion. That's not true. Guys, there can be a possibility, if this was not a ring, right? If this was a sphere or a solid cylinder, if you apply the force here, then the friction will be here. But by chance, if you apply the force maybe somewhere over here, then you will see that the friction might change the direction. There is only one point on that object where when you apply the force, then the frictional force becomes 0. So you can find that out. Again, similar kind of calculation. For a ring, that point comes out to be on the perimeter, on the circumference. But otherwise, you never know the direction of friction. So in rotational mechanics, when things are rolling, always assume the direction of friction, and by solving the problem, you will get the direction and the magnitude. I hope this is clear. Venkatesh, these pattern of questions do come. This pattern. Sometimes they might not give you this, sometimes they will just give you a ring sliding down an incline. So instead of flat surface, they'll make inclined surface. What will change? Just one gravity's component will come. So understand the concept. Sometimes instead of applying the force here, they'll give the force here. These kind of things are common. Instead of a ring, they'll give solid sphere. Understood, guys? Okay, so don't say, Venkatesh, that same question will come. I'm not saying that. These are same sure shot pattern, level, concept questions which will come. You will definitely find so many questions in your upcoming first mains as well as second mains mock test. Okay, study I've been teaching for a long time, and I've been studying also for a long time. You have 2 studies, have a lot of studies. Okay, from more than 12 years I've been teaching. Yes, so if you learn the model, it will help. Correct, Venkatesh. That's what you have to do. You cannot expect same question. Nobody can expect the same question. If it comes, good. But it has happened. So that's why these series are very popular, especially on our channel, because we started it with so many questions which we predicted actually came by value also, but we never said that it will actually come. It just happened. So there were many patterns which got repeated, many varieties which got repeated, many concepts that we taught in the class which got repeated. So that's why the series is very popular. Let's move on to the next one. There is a positive charge projected in the magnetic field, velocity given, time taken by the particle to emerge out of the magnetic field. Now this is also a standard question. They give you the width, they give you the speed, find the time taken inside, or how much angle did it get deflected by, or with what speed will you throw so that it turns around and comes back, or what is the radius, or what is the kinetic energy, or what is the momentum. Standard pattern. Momentum, kinetic energy, radius, angle, deflection, speed to throw, time spent inside the field. These questions are common in this chapter. You have to do these varieties. So first of all, let's find out the radius. So radius is standard, that is mv by qb, standard. Now according to this, the width is mv by root 2 qb. So the width, which is given to be 1 by root 2 times mv by qb as per the question. That means it is r by root 2. That is the width. And we know one thing, once you throw this inside, it goes in a uniform circular motion. But maybe it might not be able to complete the circle itself. So let's try to draw the diagram properly. So this is one thing, this is the other side. Okay, this is where the magnetic field exists. So this part is basically your width, which is r by root 2. Now at this particular point, it starts doing its circular motion. It goes like this. Obviously, this width is less than the radius, so it will not be able to turn completely, obviously. So it will just spend some amount of time, and from here, it's just going to go straight. It's just going to go straight. Now, the center of the circle might be somewhere over here. So I'm just going to show the center here. Let me just draw the radius. This is the radius. So this is r. Even this is also r. Even this is also r. Correct? Fair enough. Now, if this is r by root 2, then we also know that this part is also r by root 2. Now, if this is r by root 2, this is r, I can easily find how much is this angle theta. I can easily find how much is this angle theta. Guys, come on, think about it. Cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse, so it is 1 by root 2. Hence, theta is just 45 degrees. If this is 45 degrees, even this is also theta, and this is also going to be 45 degrees. This is also 45. This is also theta. This is also 45. That's the best thing about this. Now, once you know that this is theta, this is 45 degrees, how much time does it spend inside? That is simple. For one complete circular motion, the time period for one complete circular motion is 2 pi m by qb. This is 360 degrees. So this is not 360, this is 45 degrees. 45 degrees is how much of 360? which fraction will you take? That's going to give you the time. So T by what? T by how many parts will you divide 360 into? 8 parts. So T by 8, hence it will be 2 pi m by 8 into QB, hence it will be pi m by 4 QB. That is the final answer. Option B, I guess. Yes, pi m by 4 QB. There you go. Poojan, I'm not sure, bacha, how many questions are done. Is somebody keeping a track? I'm not sure. But quite a few, I am pretty sure about 30 at least would be done. Okay? Is that understood, guys? Awesome. Very good. Let's move on to the next one. Here is the next question. In the given circuit, the power generated, I think there is one line missing over here. In the given circuit, the power generated in the 1 ohm resistance will be maximum for which value of X? A lot of people get confused. They remember some weird theorem and then they apply that and they get a wrong answer. That's not correct. Electrical or electronics and communication engineering, which branch is better and has more scope? Electronics and communication engineering has more scope, definitely. Okay. So let's try and do this. So power generated in the 1 ohm resistance. So power in the 1 ohm resistance will be current in that 1 ohm resistance square into the resistance of that 1 ohm. So current is the voltage by resistance. The voltage is E. The resistance is 2 plus 1 plus X. Correct? This whole thing I have to square into the resistance of 1 ohm is 1. So the power comes out to be E square by 3 plus X whole square. That is the power generated in the 1 ohm resistance. The question says that you want to maximize this power. So you want to make this power maximum. This denominator should be minimum. That means X should be as small as possible. So as small as possible means 0. You cannot get anything lesser than 0. So for resistance, hence answer is D. Oh, oh Rajat, I do know you. Yes, I do remember from Drishti B batch, I guess. Oh yes, you have written Drishti B batch. Oh, I'm very happy for you, Rajat. All the best for your final few weeks. Let's rock it together. And I'm pretty sure I will be expecting really good results in the upcoming JEE Mains exam as well as JEE Advanced. Sir, is maths in EC very tough? Yes. Maths in electronics and communication is tough because it has complex numbers, a lot of Laplace, Fourier, crazy. It is. What is electric field displacement vector? So basically, if you're talking about the displacement current, so the displacement current, please open up the electromagnetic waves chapter. When a changing magnetic field is there, it creates electric field. So you need to check that chapter out, which is the rate of change of magnetic flux, and into epsilon naught and into mu naught gives you that displacement current, and from that you can find out the electric field and all of that. So just check that out. And same way, reverse way, you can find out magnetic field. So electric field creates magnetic field creates electric field. Check out electromagnetic waves, Gauss's law, and then Maxwell's equation and all of that. Jai, very good, bacha. 93.4% is very good. Keep it up, bacha log. Nice to see. So this year they don't have any such criteria, Tamil Zanda. You do not have the basic criteria. It was there before, but it has been relaxed because of the COVID pandemic. Let's talk about this question. So if a block slides down a smooth movable inclined plane such that the wedge doesn't slide, then the center of mass of M plus M system is moving in which direction? Interesting. Now, if it is a rough surface, the wedge doesn't slide. That means the center of mass of M stays there as it is. It is definitely at rest. So only this mass is moving like this. This mass is moving like this. So what will happen? First, the center of mass will be here. Then it will be here. Then it will be here. Then it will be here. So where is the center of mass moving? So center of mass is moving basically this way. The options given will be, I know I have not marked it, but it will be something like this. One is like this, one is like this, one is like this, one is maybe like this. So obviously then you will choose this option, which is option C. Okay, which is option C. That's how it is. I hope this is clear. Let's move on to the next question. Study. What you should do is, bacha, now you should concentrate on mock tests more and do maybe 2-3 topics maximum from all the subjects collectively, so that you can get that extra edge over other students. But it should not be your priority. Wherever you find time, do that extra topics, maximum 3 to 4 chapters totally, which are high in weightage, apart from that 70% which you have studied. But rest of the time, practice, assignments, problem solving, mock test. That's all. Don't try to complete the entire syllabus now. Now is not the time. Okay? You can watch one shots though. One shots will help you definitely. If you want remaining chapters, watch all the one shots. That will give you some ideas. If a question comes, you know how to solve it. So the nucleus of mass number gets disintegrated into smaller nucleus. Okay, let's try and solve this. So there is a nucleus of mass number 200. It gets disintegrated into, oh sorry, not 40, 80. You have 80 over here plus 120. 80 and 120. Now, if binding energy per nuclear for parent atom is 6.5, that means the energy of this guy will be 200 into 6.5 is per nucleon. There are 200 nucleons, so that's why multiplied by 6.5. That's why you need to multiply it by 6.5. 65 into 2, that's going to be 130. So 130, just check this out, right? And 10. So that is the amount of mega electron volt on this side, the parent side. That is the total binding energy of the parent. Now similarly, you need to find the binding energy on the product side, basically the daughter side. This has a binding energy of per nucleon as 7. So the total binding energy will be 80 into 7, right? This is nothing but 560, of course. This is having 120 nucleons, each nucleon having 8. So this will be 120 into 8. So this will be nothing but 960 mega electron volt. Now add both of them. Just add both of them and see what is their combined energy, guys. Add both of them and see what is their combined energy. Check this out. What is the answer going to come out to be? 0, 2 and what is it? 1520, right? Just check this out, 1520. Now if this is the binding energy on the product side, so what will you do? This is the binding energy on the product side. This is the binding energy on the reactant or the parent side. The difference of the energy is basically the energy released. So what will be the difference, guys? That will be nothing but your 220 mega electron volt. That is it. 220 mega electron volt. But how do you know whether it is minus 220 or plus 220? A lot of people get confused. Sir, whether it is minus or plus, how do you know that? How do you know whether it is plus or minus? Compare the values. Here the binding energy is less. Here the binding energy is more. That means to make the reactants, more energy is released in this process. This is more stable. More the binding energy, more energy is released. That means it is more stable. This is relatively unstable. From unstable, you are going to stable. If you are going from unstable to stable, what does it mean? You are releasing energy. Hence, energy will come out of this process. Hence, the answer is positive. Study. Some are JEE Mains level, some are plus JEE Mains level, some are average level. All kinds of questions are there. But today's level, I have kept it as close as possible to the JEE level. Okay, everyone? Very good. Moving on to the next one. If a metallic charged ring is placed in a uniform field, then what will happen if the field starts changing with time? So if you have a ring which is charged, this is a ring which is charged like this, and you change the field. The moment you create a field which is changing, obviously if B is not constant, this will create an electric field which is going to be induced electric field, and the induced electric field will be circular. This electric field will be circular. What will electric field do? Electric field will create force. Force will create torque. So this field will create force. Force will create torque. The torque will try to rotate it. So it will try to rotate it. The ring starts rotating about its axis. Yes, this is the axis. So the ring will start rotating about its axis, which is option B. It won't translate. It won't rotate about its diameter. It will rotate about its axis, of course. The force at every point will be like this. The force at every point will try to rotate it. That's it. Yep. Moving on to the next question. Next question. There is a rod of certain mass, area, suspended vertically, length, temperature given. Now you are preventing the rod from contracting by attaching a mass. What is the value of the mass? Beautiful question. So many times they ask you questions on thermal stress, solid mechanics, and the concept of not changing the length because you're restricting the motion. That is basically your thermal stress. So if you have this rod, this is supported over here and there is a mass over here, and you are basically, the rod is cooled, so it will try to contract, but you are preventing it from contracting because of the weight of the rod. So this weight of the rod creates a stress which is then called as thermal stress, because the rod wants to contract. It wants to contract, but you are not allowing it to contract by expanding it by the external force. The formula for the thermal stress is given by Y alpha delta T. Stress is force by area. Here the force is the weight itself and area is A. Y alpha delta T. Now the question is, what is the value of the mass? That means you have to find the weight in general. So M into G. So A goes on the top. So Y alpha delta T into A. G from here goes below. That's it. So that is the answer. So substitute all the values and you will get it. Young's modulus is 10 to the power 11. Alpha value, coefficient of linear expansion, 10 to the power minus 5. Change in temperature, from 200 you have got it to 0. So this is 200. Area of cross section, 2 into 10 to the power minus 6. So 2 into 10 to the power minus 6. And finally, G value is nothing but 10. Now do the math and see what the answer is. But I'll tell you something. I can use one more trick over here. I won't sit and calculate. Forget the powers of 10. Just look at other things which are not 10 or zeros. 2 into 2, 4. So it will be 4 into 10 to the power something. So it will be 4 into 10 to the power something. I don't care about the power of 10. Look at the options 20, 30, 40, 50. Oh, I can see 4 here. So this should be the answer. I won't sit and calculate. हो मला मराठी खूप चांगलं येतं. I know Marathi. Who is asking? Yes, I know. Hello Monica, welcome. Sir, is it Y or gamma? Oh, it is Y. It is not gamma. This is Young's modulus. This is Young's modulus. Y. Option C. That's it. Moving on to the next one. No problem, Rohan. Now you know the formula. This is a standard formula. Direct questions come. Stress, area, Young's modulus, linear coefficient, change in temperature. Directly they will give you. Okay, let's do this. So most of the times whenever you see these kind of circuits, you should realize that it is a disguised form. So basically you need to rearrange the circuit in some or the other way and try to figure out how you can solve this. Mark these points. Mark these points. This is X. Okay. This is Y. This is X. This is Y. Let's say this is Z. This is, I don't know, something like X, Y, U, let's say, example. Okay. This together is 50. This together is also 50. These two together is 25. Now start from each point and go to the next point. Let's go. Come on, everybody observe. Start from point A. You get a 10 ohm resistance and you reach this point X. You reach this point X, correct? Then you have a 50 ohm resistance, correct guys? Everybody able to see that? You have a 50 ohm resistance. Okay, so we have a 50 ohm resistance as it is. It is connected to a point Y. It is connected to a point Y. Then again you have a 50 ohm resistance. Again you have a 50 ohm resistance. Where is it connected? It is connected to Z. Okay, it is connected to Z. That Z is again connected to a 25 ohm resistance which is connected to U. Okay, so that Z is connected to again a 25 ohm resistance which is connected to U, and U is connected via a 15 ohm resistance to finally a point B. This is how the line goes. This is how the line goes. This is much simpler now. Okay, but hold on, this is not complete yet. There are so many things still remaining. Let's see which all wires we have missed. We just went along this path. We just went along this path. There is one wire here and one wire here. Connect X to Z. Connect X to Z. Connect X to Z. Okay, I have to connect this. Also connect Y to U. Connect Y to U. Okay, done. Now does it look simpler? By marking the points. By marking the points. Very good. Arya, I will try to conduct the 10th moving 11th some classes maybe in the days to come. Right now we are really held up in the outgoing batch which have exams in the next week and then NEET exam in July and all of that. I'll try to conduct few classes. Meanwhile, please watch the 11th standard playlist. It's right there. Okay. Now, this part which you see over here, this is actually a standard circuit. This is actually parallel. XY, YZ and ZU, you can see they are all actually in parallel. Do you see that, guys? Look at this. X and Z have the same potential. Y and U have the same potential. So actually you can redraw this circuit like this. This is 10, this is A. X and Z are actually the same thing. So basically you will have three resistors right over here. Three resistors right over here which are in parallel. And then you just have this 15 ohm resistance and point B. And these resistors will be obviously your 50, then 50 and then 25. So if you are wondering which these points are, this point is basically your, oops, sorry, not X. Oh, sorry, yes, it is X, my bad. It is X, or you can take it as Z, one and the same thing. This point over here is either U or you take it as Y. Both mean the same thing. These three are in parallel. Now it becomes very easy. Sir, wire is resistances, how will it make difference? Then it will be very difficult, bacha. You cannot just connect it randomly. You have to convert the wire into a resistor, and a wire is a resistance-less wire. That's how you will convert it and then try to solve it. Now 50, 50, 25 guys, what is their effective combination? Try to figure it out. 50, 50, 25, 1 by 50, 1 by 50, 1 by 25. So 1 by 50 plus 1 by 50, 2 by 50, that is 1 by 25, 1 by 25 plus 1 by 25, that is 2 by 25. So resistance in parallel is 12.5 ohms. Now this 12.5, 10 and 15, they are in series. So the resistance between A and B will be 10 plus 12.5 plus 15, which is just going to be 37.5. Is that option there? Yep, option C it is. I'm not sure, Harsh, but this is a very good question. So wherever you find difficulty in visualization, mark the points X, Y, A, B, C, D, whatever. Start from one point, go to the other point. See whichever parts you missed, start connecting them. You will see that again it can be simplified. So this is actually this. These two are exactly the same. It becomes very simple. It's just a complicated way of showing it. That's all. Next question. Yes, NTA is generally higher than JEE Mains. The NTA mock test questions are generally higher. That's what you will see. Okay, no problems. Don't worry, even if it is less. Next question. There's a person who is standing on a boat of certain mass and moving at a constant speed of 10 meters per second when there is no friction between water and the boat. Also the engine of the boat is shut off. Great. With what velocity should the person with respect to the boat move so that the boat comes to rest? Neglect friction between water and boat. Now since this line is mentioned, this means that net external force is 0. That means momentum of person plus the boat is basically conserved. This is the concept that I'm going to use. This was the situation initially. The entire thing was moving with a constant speed of 10 meters per second. The mass of the person is mentioned. It is nothing but 50 kg. And the mass of the boat is mentioned. That is 100 kg. Now, once the person starts moving, such that, boat comes to rest. So let me draw the second part of the problem. If the boat comes to rest, that means obviously that person should be running over here with certain velocity. The question is, what is that velocity? So I think we should use conservation of momentum and try to solve the problem. Let's do this. Initially, in this system, what is the momentum? Both are moving together. So the combined mass will be 100 plus 50, that's the total mass, into the velocity, which is 10, will give you the initial momentum. This is your initial momentum. Finally, when the boat comes to rest, the momentum of the boat will be, the momentum of the boat will be 0. The momentum of the boat finally, will be 0. But do not forget, the person is still moving. The mass of the person is 50. He is moving with certain velocity v. Great, I think we can now solve the problem. So this is nothing but 150 into 10 is equal to 50 into v. So v will be 50 goes with 153 times. So this will be 30 meters per second, obviously towards the right. If he moves faster, then the boat will slow down. These kind of questions do come where the person moves this much, the plank moves how much? Plank moves this much, how much does the person move? Common question on center of mass and momentum conservation. Very, very important category. So these kind of questions do come in the exam. Instead of velocity, they can also give you displacement. They'll just remove the second part. So the same process remains. There is no difference at all. Wherever you put velocity, you put displacement, you can still do the same problem as it is. There is no difference at all. Instead of velocity, if it is displacement. We have a moving box and there is a person who performs some experiment. He's inside the box stationary. And if you place an object on that smooth table and you release it, it accelerates with 10. Interesting question. Yes, you can use m1 v1 is equal to m2 v2, but if there are more objects, then it can be m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus m3 v3 is equal to m3 v4, something like that. Who knows? Yeah, Harsh, you will be getting it, don't worry. Now let's draw the situation first. There is a box, there is an observer, okay, there is an experimenter. He finds that when an object is placed on a smooth surface, this is the smooth surface, this object accelerates with 10 meters per second square. This only means one thing, that this entire box is actually accelerating with 10 meters per second square. There is a pseudo force which is being applied, because of which it goes that way. So this is basically a non-inertial frame of reference. This is a non-inertial frame of reference. Correct? Now, let's see what is happening next. If you take a string in this box, if you take 1 kg box and you take a light string, then the tension in the equilibrium position will be. So, if you take a string and release it, it will obtain a position over here somewhere, such that the tension will be balancing the resultant of the weight and the pseudo force. Your weight and your pseudo force will produce a resultant, which I will show it in this direction. This is your mass, this is your pendulum or string. You will see that this will be m into g effective. The tension will balance exactly opposite to the effective gravity. So the tension will be mass, which is 1. G effective will be 1 g is down, 1 g is here. So the downward g is 10. this G is also 10. The pseudo force will also create the same amount of acceleration this way, which is 10. So this will be 10 square plus 10 square, which is nothing but 10 root 2 Newton. Think of it this way, the weight produces acceleration G, even the pseudo force is producing the same acceleration. So 10 and 10, resultant G effective will be 10 root 2. That's it. I hope this is clear. No, I have not eaten lunch. I'll eat lunch after some time. Okay, come on guys, let's do this. I thought the session will be for 2 hours, but yep, it is going longer than I expected. No problem, we'll try to complete. I think we are just maybe more, I don't know, 10-15 questions away or something. There is a paramagnetic substance of susceptibility this much, field is this much, intensity is how much. So let's see what and all is given. This is nothing but susceptibility. Magnetic field intensity. Okay, so basically H is also given. So here what is asked is I is how much? Oh, we know this formula, X is I by H. So I is equal to XH. So it is 3 10 to the power minus 4 into 4 into 10 to the power minus 4 again. So this will be 12 into 10 to the power minus 8, sorry. Minus 8. So 12 into 10 to the power minus 8, that's it. Yeah, there you go. That was the answer. It's very simple if you know the formula. So there are some 4 or 5 formulas, if I'm not wrong. That's it, which you should know in this chapter. If you know it, easily you can directly do the problem. I know it takes some time. If you can make time, do it. But the probability of asking a question from this chapter is less. But if it comes, it is going to be very simple. Recent years, they have increased the number of questions. And they ask one question from this chapter. There have been papers where they have not asked anything. But if it comes, it will be very simple like this only. Earth's magnetism, magnetic materials, etc. Okay. Now let's try to do this. 2 beams of light having intensities I and 4I interfere to produce a fringe pattern on the screen. Phase difference is this much. And at different point, it is pi. What is the difference between the resultant intensity? Okay, so let's take it point by point. First, for point A. This is actually point A, guys. So first for point A. So for point A, the phase difference is pi by 4. So the intensity at point A, remember the formula? I1 plus I2 plus 2 root I1 I2 cos delta phi. So I1 is I, I2 is 4 times of I plus 2 root I into 4I into cos of pi by 2, that's the phase difference. Cos 90 is 0, I plus 4I is 5I. So this is the intensity at point A. This formula is very commonly used, looks very similar to the vector addition formula which you have learned in 11th standard. Now for the second part. For point B, the phase difference is pi. So IB will be intensity 1 plus intensity 2 is 4 times of I plus 2 root I into 4I into cos pi. Now I plus 4I is 5I. 4's root is 2, 2 2's are 4. So 4, I square's root is again I. Cos of pi means minus 1, cos 180. So this is just going to be I. So one is I, one is 5I. So the question is, what is the difference of these two? So this number and this number, if you take the difference of these two intensities at A and B, obviously it's going to be 4I. That's the answer. Just check it out. Very good, it is. So you should know the formula for adding intensities. You cannot just add them directly. You need to account for their phase difference. That's it. Earth's magnetism has only 2 to 3 formulas. One is inclination, one is declination. I'll tell you one thing, Aarti. Watch my lecture on Earth's magnetism. Everything will be clear. It's just going to take you 1.5 hours. If you want, watch it. Everything will be clear. You will never face that difficulty. Trust me. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Yeah, this is standard question. That's why I'm giving it to you. This is also a standard question. They give you questions on Malu's law. Polarized light, and the light is passed through different planes of polarization, what is the final intensity? This is also very common question, guys. Very common question. Let's try to do this. Light of intensity is incident. 4 polarizing plates are there. Each plate makes pi by 3 with the previous one. What is the net one? Okay. So if initially the intensity is I, after passing through the first plate, it will become I by 2. It was unpolarized, so it will first become polarized. This is what will happen in the first sheet. Now it has been passed through the, how many sheets are there? 4 sheets are there. Second sheet, so it will become I by 2 into cos square pi by 3. Cos square pi by 3. Then third sheet, then fourth sheet. Finally, the intensity will be I by 2 into cos square pi by 3 will come 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, right? So it will come 3 times, so cube. So this will become I by 2 into cos square 60. Cos 60 is half, so half squares, my god, cube. This is going to be one crazy number. 4 cube is 64, 2s are 128, so this will be 128. So that should be option B. Yep, it is option B, guys. Just check it out. Very good. Yep, it is. So see, there are 2 concepts here. If you have unpolarized light of intensity I, if you pass it through a polarizer, then only half of the intensity remains. That's the first concept. Second concept which is used over here is that if you have polarized light and if you pass it through a polarizer and you change it by angle theta, then if this is I, this becomes I cos square theta. That is your Malu's law. That's all that is there. Done, done, done. Okay, so 2 concepts here. So first time unpolarized became polarized, then 1, 2, 3 times cos square, cos square, cos square. That's why cos square's cube has come over here. As simple as that. Yes, Vedant, I do remember you, bacha. Kitu, hello. Let's move on to the next question. A light emitting diode has voltage of this much, current of this much, 6 volt battery, a limiting resistor is there. What is the value of the resistor? At first sight, it looks like a difficult question, but it is a simple current electricity based question, although you don't require much knowledge of semiconductors. Let's draw it. A light emitting diode. Diode means this one. This will emit diode. And there is a potential difference of 2 volts across it. There is a current of 10 milliamperes which goes through it. And it is connected to a battery. Yep, there is a battery over here. Okay, there is a battery over here of how many volts? 6 volts. And there is also a limiting resistor, means just a resistor. That's it. It's just a fancy name for it. That's it. So there is 6 volt battery. Current is this much. 2 volts is dropped across the diode. How much volt will be dropped across the resistor? How much volt will be dropped across the resistor? Hi Rose. 6 here. 2 gets dropped here. So the remaining voltage gets dropped here. This will be 4 volt. Correct? Now use Ohm's law. Use Ohm's law. What is it? V is equal to current, which is 10 milliamperes, into resistance. So the resistance will be 4 divided by 10 to the power minus 2, which is 400 ohms. 400 ohms. That's it. That's the answer. So do you need anything about semiconductors here? No. Unnecessarily people will leave this question. They will think, sir, there is nothing like limiting resistor in NCERT. Array, you don't need it. It's just a simple circuit. You just need to apply at that moment. Oh, it's just a resistor. Doesn't matter much. That's all. Okay? So don't get scared by looking at the data points. Most of the times it's going to be just one simple thing. Moving on to the next question, guys. Crazy amount of questions, guys. We have almost, I don't know, we have almost reached 40 questions at least, I guess. 40 plus, definitely. So 2 particles moving from rest. Accelerations are variable. Interesting. Graphically, they have been shown. What is the relative velocity of A with respect to B after 10 seconds? Relative velocity of A with respect to B is asked. That means it will be VA minus VB. Achha. How do you find the velocity? Velocity is the area under the graph. The change in velocity is the area under the graph. So the velocity at 10 seconds will be area under the graph. Think about it. How do I find this? Will be the final velocity minus initial velocity is rest. So minus 0. So the change in velocity itself is final velocity, and the area, what will be the area? Half into base into height, which is 10. So 10 times 100, 100 by 2 is 50. So final velocity is just 50. Same thing if you do over here. Same thing if you do over here. You will get the final velocity as minus 50 because the area is negative. So this will be nothing but 50 minus 50, which is nothing but 100 meters per second. Concept to be used here was area under acceleration time, area, acceleration time, acceleration versus time, area gives you change in velocity. Area under velocity versus time, that area gives you the change in position, which is displacement. So if you know that, you can easily get it. You should click that, oh, I can find the area, I can find the velocity here for both the graphs. If I know the velocities, subtract them, you will get the relative velocity. One is positive, one is negative, else you will get 0. Okay, you will think, oh, both velocities are same. Do not forget, you have to subtract them. So minus minus becomes plus. Let's do the next one. No problem, Kaushik, you can watch the replay of the missed part. Thank you, Srushti Jadhav. Thank you so much. Nice to see you guys after a long time, by the way. Moving on. The electric dipole is situated in the electric field. The dipole is rotated in a plane of paper clockwise direction with respect to the field. The graph between the torque is best represented by. So guys, all these statements just mean one thing. Torque is, what is it? P E sine theta. P E sine theta. So theta starts from 0 degrees and then it is increased. So just draw the graph of sine theta. Out of these graphs, there is only one graph of sine theta. It starts from here, it goes like this, goes like this. This is the graph of sine theta. Which one is it? It is option C, I guess. Yes, it is graph C. Just check it out. Yep, it is graph C. It's very simple. You should know that torque is P E sine theta. That's all. Next question. A horizontal tube bent into L shape. Outflow is A, inflow is 2A, speed is V, change in the pressure is how much? Let's draw the situation. There is a tube which is bent. So inflow is 2A, outflow is just A. This is A, this is 2A. The liquid enters here with speed V. Obviously over here the speed will be different. Question is change in pressure. I think you need to use Bernoulli's principle. Bernoulli and equation of continuity, 99% of the times they ask a question on that. Standard Bernoulli's equation, as simple as that. Yes, Rushti, I do remember here. So equation of continuity, if you use equation of continuity, you will realize 2A into V is A into the final velocity. So final velocity will be twice V. So final velocity is basically twice V. Now use your Bernoulli's principle. So initial pressure plus half rho V square will be final pressure plus half rho 2V square. What happened to rho GH term? Rho GH is constant because it is given, it's horizontal. So if it is horizontal, in horizontal, H is basically constant. So don't worry about the H term. So just move this around. So P1 minus P final will be half rho into 4V square minus, bring this guy there, half rho V square. So this will be nothing but 3 rho V square by 2. That is your pressure difference. That's it. That's the answer. This can come like a subjective question also or objective question also. So Bernoulli and equation of continuity, you should know it. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Try to solve this question. I'll just probably drink some water, guys, now. Okay, hardly any questions are remaining, I guess. Okay, Compound microscope used to enlarge object kept at a distance of 3 centimeters. The objective consists of several lenses. Focal length is also given. If the lens focal length is 10 removed, then the eyepiece has to be moved by X to refocus. What is the value? Interesting question. So let's start. Object, focal length, distance given. So let's say this is the objective. The objective has a focal length of how much? Total focal length 2 centimeters. But remember, the objective has many lenses. Okay, it's a combination of many lenses. You can assume it as thin lenses in contact. There is an object over here. This distance is given to be 3 centimeters. Obviously, the rays from here are going to refract and they will finally form some image over here. Now, this image becomes the object for the next lens, that is your eyepiece lens. So your eyepiece is over here. This is your eyepiece. Now this is where the image is formed. We can find where the image is formed very easily using the lens formula. 1 by V minus 1 by U, U is minus 3, is equal to 1 by F. So therefore 1 by V is equal to 1 by 2, minus minus plus goes there, becomes minus, so 1 by 3. So this will become 3 minus 2 by 6, which is 1 by 6. So V will become 6 centimeters. So this distance becomes 6 centimeters. That's what is given initially. Now what has happened is, you have removed one of the lens out of this. I don't know what the lenses are, how many are there. I just don't know that. I just know one of them is removed. So that now, in order to refocus, obviously you have to move it by some X centimeters. Obviously, if you remove one of the lenses, the power of the lens will go down. Because the power of the lens will go down, you will see that, let's say for example, you get rid of this. Let's say you get rid of this. This is, let's say, removed. If you removed this, which had a focal length of how much? 10 centimeters. Then you will see that the ray will not merge here. Probably it will merge here. Let's say this is the new position of the image. So you will see that the image has shifted. The image has shifted by some X amount, because of which you will have to also move the eyepiece. You will also have to move the eyepiece by that same amount to refocus. So this is the shift. That's why eyepiece also has shifted. Understood? See if this makes sense. Now what you need to do? You have to find out this X. How do I find out this X? Oh, if I can apply lens formula again, I'll find the new image position. For that, I need to know the focal length. So guys, think about it. This guy, which has been removed, had he been there, then that guy's power plus the remaining guy's power will be the net power of the combination. So by combination of lens formula, 1 by F, which is 1 by 10, plus whatever is remaining now. So these many parts are remaining. This is what is remaining now. So plus 1 by F of the remaining parts will be equal to the 1 by focal length of the effective combination, which is 2. Think about it. Earlier it was 2, you removed it, so the remaining is having a focal length of F remaining. So this power plus this power is the net power. That's all. So just solve this now, you will get the focal length. So 1 by F of the remaining will be 1 by 2 minus 1 by 10. So this is going to be multiplied 5 times, right? So 5 minus 1, 4. So 4 by 10, which is nothing but 2 by 5. Just keep it as it is, because I'm going to use lens formula now. Again use lens formula, 1 by the new position minus 1 by U. U is again minus 3 is equal to 1 by this F, which is just 2 by 5. This is lens formula. So solve this. 1 by V1 is equal to 2 by 5. minus minus plus, take it over there, minus, so minus 1 by 3. Okay, so this is nothing but 15, 3 2s are 6, minus 5, so this is 1 by 15. So V1 is 15 centimeters. So the new image position is 15 centimeters. This is 15 centimeters. So how much is X going to be? X will be nothing but 15 minus 6, which is nothing but 9 centimeters. That's all. That's all. 15 minus 6, 9. Yes, that's the answer. Beautiful question it is. Study, you can improve definitely to 180 to 200. It takes around a month. It's possible. It's not that difficult. It's just focusing on those teeny mini topics out there. Cool? So it's a brilliant question. Combines optical instruments, combines combination of lenses, combines lens formula, combines geometry, combines visualization. I mean, like fabulous. Okay. Now, few more conceptual questions are there. Let's have a look at it quickly. Of the following, which are going to have different dimensions from the remaining? Out of these 4 options, 3 options have same dimensions. Only one of them has different dimension. Which one is it? Which one is it? Come on, think about it. Energy per unit volume? Well, force per unit area, product of voltage and charge. Okay, let's try this out one by one. Energy per unit volume. Energy means work. So this is basically work per unit volume. That means length cube. Okay, this is force per unit area. Force and area. Area is length square. Okay, work is force into length, dimension wise, upon this is length cube. So I think this and this are of the same dimension. One length gets cancelled. Look over here, voltage and charge. Voltage is nothing but I can say volts, which is joules per coulomb. So it is basically work done per coulomb, so per charge. And voltage and charge, if you multiply, oh, I just get product of voltage and charge per unit volume. Charge per unit volume. Volume means length cube. Okay. So again I get work, charge gets cancelled, and length cube. Okay. Work and length cube is again this one over here. So these 3 are of the same dimension. You can see. Obviously this will be wrong. If 3 are of the same, obviously this will be of a completely different dimension. Angular momentum per unit mass. Come on, it's going to be completely different. This is mRV by m. This is r into v. Completely different. Completely. Moving on. For a negative beta decay, which of the following is true? Come on. Completely theoretical based, conceptual based question. For a negative beta decay. Negative beta means electron emission. So how does the electron get emitted during a radioactivity? Neutron gets converted into proton plus electron. That's what it is. So check which of the following options are correct. Heavy nucleus? No. Light nucleus? No. Neutron emits, decays and emits an electron? Yes. Binding energy? No. Option C it is. Clearly, neutron gets converted into proton plus electron. This is the concept for a negative beta decay. Next question. Internal energy of an ideal gas increases during isothermal process when the gas is. Now, this is a very tricky question. A lot of people fail. Delta U is N CV delta T. This is the usual formula which you remember. But technically, that is only true if N and CV are constant. So, only if this is constant you can use this. Else, delta U is technically speaking N2 CV2 T2 minus N1 CV1 T1. In this question, it's an isothermal process. It's the same gas. That means this 2 and these 2 are constant. So technically this is N2 minus N1 CV and T are common. So here the internal energy has increased because of moles, not because of temperature. So in this question, when the gas is expanded by adding more molecules, not by temperature change. So hence the correct answer is option A. So this is playing with the formula. People remember this and they think it is impossible to change the internal energy in an isothermal process. Let me tell you, it is possible if moles change, not otherwise. Moving on to the next one. A particle undergoes uniform circular motion. About which point do you think angular momentum is conserved? Well, if it goes in a circular path, if this is uniform circular motion, standard question, where is angular momentum conserved? What is the value of the final angular speed, etc.? Yes, it will be always the center of the circle. If you take any other point, you will see angular momentum, which is mrv sine theta. One of them will change. If you take this point, at every point you will see the r value will change, v will change, perpendicular value will change. So it will not be constant. So it will be the center of the circle. Now this is the last question. I have kept it as homework. I want you guys to put up the answer in the comment section. We have completed, I think, 50 questions. So I want you guys to solve the last one, put up the answer. Yes, the solution will be available in the Telegram channel. Make sure you check that out. Also remember, in the description box, you have the link for joining the JEE crash course for your second JEE Mains attempt. So if you go down in the description box, this is the JEE live crash course. This is for your second attempt. Make sure you give this, enroll into this. You are going to get interactive classes with lots and lots of study material, test series, doubt solving, tips and tricks for your final cover up for your second attempt. If you feel your first attempt is not going to go well, start preparing now. Don't wait for July for the exams to be over and results to be declared. This course is for 8,100 rupees. You can see, you can apply the coupon codes, etc. Now, also remember, there are other links like where you can give your Eklavya test. You can also join the Telegram channel link. All the important playlists are also present right over here. So this is your most important link for joining the crash course. I'll be waiting to see all of you in the JEE crash course as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. My throat is gone now. I'll have to take a rest. I have to have lunch now. Sorry guys if I was not able to put in so much of energy, but trust me, it takes a lot of effort to stand here and talk so much. Okay, so my point was here to make sure that you guys understand the concept and see those kind of patterns of questions which are very expected in your upcoming JEE Mains. Okay, so the formula session will not be there. Study. There is already a formula class here. Check this out. Complete formula revision. Open this. See this complete physics formula. 3-hour session. It is there. Even 12th standard, 11th standard formula revision is there. All of these sessions are there. Go ahead, watch it. It's very important that you check them out. Okay. Bye bye guys, have a great time, have your lunch, see you again on Monday. I'll be doing, probably Monday or Tuesday, I'll be doing NTA mock test. Okay, take care, have a great time. Hasta luego.